We've got 15 of the most upvoted Am I the Devil Reddit stories for the month of June. Starting it off, with the 15th most upvoted story. Am I the a-hole for insisting my brother always pick last? And of course, stick around for 14 more absolutely insane Am I the Devil stories, such as, am I the a-hole for using my wedding veto on my fiance's sister after he used his on my close friend? Ah, yes, I'm sure that marriage will last. As well as the #1 most upvoted Am I the Devil Reddit story for the month of June. Am I the a-hole for planning to confess my feelings to my married manager? If you're new here and you're not familiar with this series on my channel, I collect the 15 best stories chosen by Reddit in a certain subreddit. In this case, Am I the Devil? And then I read them and compile them in one video for you so that you guys can enjoy them. Because I read a lot of Reddit stories and come out with a lot of videos for you guys, sometimes these videos have repeat stories from my previous videos. While that might be the fact for some other 15 most upvoted videos that I've made, that is not the case here. 14 out of the 15 stories are brand spanking new. As always, everything is timestamped below if you do want to skip around the stories, but I highly recommend you stay around for all of them. Alrighty, guys, y'all already know the drill. Let's lock in here and read some Reddit. Am I the a-hole for insisting my brother always pick last? My parents, 65 female and 66 male, rent a big house every year for a family reunion with all of their kids, plus spouses and grandkids. In parentheses, I know it's extravagant and I'm terrified for their financial future, but that's another convo for another day. That's just an interesting comment to throw in there. At this time, we have 10 adults and 5 grandchildren. Alvin, 36 male, is married without kids, very open about not wanting kids. Simon, 35 male, is married with 2 kids, 3-year-old and 6-month-old, and wants more kids. Theo, 32 male, is married with 2 kids, 8-year-old and 6-year-old, very open about not having more kids. I, 38 female, am married with 1 kid, 6-year-old, not having any more kids. I'm very intrigued that you chose to use Alvin and the Chipmunks names for your fake names. I'm honestly kind of here for it. Great use of free will right there. Perhaps, obviously, it's Alvin that I have insisted should always pick last when bedrooms are chosen at the rental house. In 2022, my mom implemented a rotating age-based picking order. 2022, me, Alvin, Simon, Theo. 2023, Alvin, Simon, Theo, me. 2024, Simon, Theo, me, Alvin, etc. But from 2018 to 2020, Theo always got first pick because he had the only, in parentheses, or the most, kids. No complaints. I've always disagreed with my mom's picking order, in parentheses, because equity is better than equality. But I got vocal during the planning of the 2023 reunion because Simon's wife was pregnant for the first time, in parentheses, and then gave birth at the hospital during the actual reunion. I think the picking order, in parentheses, since 2023 and for the foreseeable future, should be Simon, Theo, me, then our parents, or Alvin. Bitch, your parents are the ones paying for it. I vote for the ones paying for it should get first dibs on the rooms, me personally. At this time, grandkids sleep in the same room as their respective parents, but eventually the plan is to have all the grandkids in the same room, like a slumber party, but not for a few more years, depending on how many kids Simon and his wife end up having. But Alvin and his spouse hate my picking order. My parents have always insisted on picking last, but Alvin is my mom's favorite. In parentheses, they're like 2 peas in a pod, so she low-key also hates my picking order. Dad wishes we would all just shut up about it in the group chat. So this is how I feel, bro. I'm so fucking glad that me and my siblings have never had this issue. There's no picking order. It's just you guys sit down and you're like, okay, what makes the most sense for who? And we'll like talk. Like, this is so funny to me because I just feel like this is dysfunctional sibling adult relationships. You guys are saying it in chat. These are grown adults. These are grown adults fucking choosing who's player 1 on the GameCube. Except for they're all almost in their 30s. Like, no, wait, they all are in their 30s. I thought OP was 28 female. I don't know why my brain said 28 female. She's almost 40 years old. If I'm ever pushing 40 and I go, well, I think I should pick my room first, just take me out back, put me down Old Yeller style, bop, bop, right to the back of the head, please. LOL, my spouse says I should drop the issue and just keep giving Simon my spot when advantageous. Simon and his wife never ask or assume, but they always thank me for giving them my spot. Now, I understand that always picking last would suck for Alvin, in parentheses, especially without an end in sight, and the rest of us chose to have kids. But Alvin and his spouse, 1, never give up their picking spot, in parentheses, parentheses, fine, but annoying. 2, constantly pick the biggest room with the attached bathroom. Annoying. 3, have 3 sources of income, 2 full-time salaries, and a long-term rental property. In parentheses, Simon, Theo, and I are currently single income households for a variety of reasons and not by choice. So like, kind of hot take, because it is a choice. Whether you consciously make it or not, when you decide to have kids, this is the choice you're making, chat. You decided to have crotch goblins. Not just crotch goblins, expensive crotch goblins. When was this post written? 9 days ago. In the big 2026, you decided to have kids and then went, woe is me. My family member who didn't have kids has more money than us. How dare they? We chose cum souvenirs. They chose to have multiple sources of income and get to do whatever they want with their money. How dare they do that? Listen, if that's the route you want to go, I don't want to discourage you, but you can't be like, woe is me, that wasn't my choice. Yeah, it was. You could have wrapped it before you tapped it, girl. Or I guess your husband could have wrapped it before he tapped it. 4, are in excellent physical health due to their specific line of work. In parentheses, every other couple currently has one person with temporary or permanent mobility issues. And so I just don't think Alvin and his spouse need any accommodating in room selection at family reunions. Hopefully that's enough, but not too much context. Am I the a-hole for repeatedly advocating for, in parentheses, or perhaps unfair, but in my opinion, needs-based picking order? Okay, chat, hear me out. OP is insufferable. I think their logic is actually there. If this were me and my siblings, this is probably how it would pan out, because we're all mature enough to have a conversation around like, okay, this room is more accommodating for my sister and her fiance because they probably should have more privacy than like the other kids, you know, like that's a conversation we have every time and it just happens. Like that's just how it goes. And that'll change once one of us has a long-term partner that like comes home for Christmas and stuff. Like it really is just crazy to me. And like, I almost want to just go with everyone sucks here because I think your family's just immature. Like call me crazy, but I think this is just something that a family should be able to figure out together and work together on. Like y'all are in a big house that your parents are paying for and you're being petty as fuck. This argument is so big and probably comes up every year and it's a big point of contention to the point where you made a Reddit post about it. You guys could just squash the beef. You could sit down and be like, hey, Alvin, here's how we've been doing it. Here's what I propose. Can we please have a mature discussion around it as adults in their 30s do? That's all that needs to happen, by the way. They just have a conversation about it. And like, if Alvin still wants to be an asshole about it, then he's the bad guy. But I just think like you're making this about how much money Alvin makes, the choices that he's decided to make in his life, which like has its pros and cons, right? Like you don't get to enjoy raising a kid and like watching that kid become successful or whatever not you get out of having kids as a parent. I don't know. I don't have kids, but he chose being more financially free and being able to invest money, not into a kid, but into like a rental property or something like that. So I don't know, bro. I just think like you can't be sitting there complaining about it. You got to get off of Reddit and have conversations with your siblings, bro. Who let these children have children? No, actually though, that's such facts. I'm almost 100% sure these kids are gonna grow up watching this family dynamic and be like, oh my God, our parents, man. Oh, talk about like a first world problem. Like that's just how I feel about it. This is just a first world problem. Oh, well, I didn't get to pick which room I'm in. Are you guys like teenagers? Like figure it the fuck out. Yeah, man. That's why I'm like, fuck, dude, I don't think it's worth having children. It's so expensive. You put everybody in a lot of bad situations when you like have a kid. And if you do have a kid, you should do it later in life. I truly believe in that. Ooh, you guys are saying that this might be a power trip for OP. I wouldn't be surprised. Like she feels like Alvin has the better life and this is her way of like getting a leg up on him. I'm really curious what the comments are even saying on this post, actually. Let's go look at it. Oh, okay. Am I the a-hole mod? Pinned at the top. OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the a-hole. 1, I keep contradicting my mom and insisting that my brother Alvin should pick last when bedrooms are chosen at the family reunion rental house. 2, my parents pay for the rental house, so I might be an a-hole for trying to override their decision, and picking last, especially without an end in sight, would suck for Alvin. Okay, you're the a-hole. Just because your brother didn't procreate doesn't mean he shouldn't get his pick. You making babies does not entitle you to anything more in life. If you want more space, rent your own Airbnb. Yeah, I actually agree with that one. You're the a-hole. You aren't paying and sound really entitled. Let your parents decide. I wonder if anybody was just like, this is such a crazy, random, stupid sibling argument. Geez, why do people with kids always act so dang entitled about everything? Yeah, I'm so thankful for my sisters. If there's anything I got out of this post, it's thank God for my sisters. Thank God we're all chill and we can have adult discussions. Like, come on, bro. Yeah, I think people hear the sentiment, it takes a village, and then assume the village owes them when they have kids. No, for real. I've never understood that. Like, it takes a village, but that was back when you lived in a village. Like, we don't live in a village anymore, bro. I'm sorry. Just because you have kids doesn't mean everybody else has to drop everything and take care of your kids for you. Like, if you couldn't handle taking care of the kids on your own and or paying for extra help for those kids, don't have the kids. Or get ready for like 18 years, maybe even a little bit more of like struggle. Call me crazy, but that's on you, bro. When you procreate, that's on you, dog. If you have a nice enough family where they'll help you out, hell yeah. We love that. We support that. But that is a gift, not a requirement. Am I the a-hole for not letting my son talk to his friends? Me, 44 male, and my wife have a 16-year-old son. To be completely honest, I've always been super strict with technology. 5 years ago, I put a downtime on his phone and MacBook, which to those who don't know, essentially is a screen time, and turns his phone and laptop off at a certain time. This includes him not being able to text or call his friends during the night. My wife has always disagreed with this. If it extends to weekends, I think I disagree with it, but honestly, y'all, not terrible. To me, it makes sense to limit your kid's screen time on like a weekday if they're 16. Originally, his downtime was 7 p.m. Oh, that's way early. Holy fuck. But we eventually upped it to 9 p.m. once he got into high school. He's been irritated by this. 9 p.m. isn't terrible, but I think like 11 p.m. makes more sense. He doesn't care about the fact that he can't access apps during his downtime, but more annoyed that he can't keep communicating with his friends, which annoys him even more when it's summer. You do it in the summer too? That's fucking crazy. Weekends in summer is where I'll draw the line. That's fucking ridiculous. We also moved states 2 months ago, which has led him to try and talk to his friends from home more often. Okay, wait, that's tough. However, he does have a PlayStation downstairs, which we let him get on even when his phone and computer are off. In parentheses, I've tried to put a downtime on his PlayStation before too, but I couldn't figure out how. 4 days ago, he placed an order on Amazon, and 2 days later, the package came. I was already on the couch when my son got it from the front door and brought it to the kitchen, where he opened it. He pulled out a box of earbuds. He already has AirPods, so I asked him what he needed those for. He told me it was for his PlayStation, so I thought nothing of it. Later that night, I got woken up at 11 by the sound of laughing coming from the living room, followed by the faint sound of talking. At first, I didn't know what it was, but as I became less drowsy, I realized it was my son. I went downstairs and saw him sitting on the couch with the earbuds on the PlayStation. He saw me and said, "Hold on," into the mic before taking the earbuds off. I asked him what he was doing, and he said he was playing games with his friends. I looked at the screen and saw him on some kind of voice chat with 2 other people. I told him he wasn't allowed to talk to his friends after 9, which is why the downtime exists. And my son told me he thought he was still able to call them on his PlayStation since I let him use it at night. I'm so confused what the dad is angry about. Tuesday, July 25th, 2023 was when this was posted. So it's the summer. Your son is on summer break trying to catch up with his friends from home, and you're being a terrorist at 11 p.m. Listen, bro, if it's like 1 a.m., I could maybe understand. In the living room, being loud. Hey, bro, you were too loud. You gotta go to bed. You're also up late. I get it. It's summer, but like, we gotta draw the line, right? Absolutely no contact is fucking ridiculous. And I just don't understand why he's angry. Like, he's literally just sitting in a voice call with them. He knows the rules I have in place for technology, and I felt like my rules were getting broken. So I told him to get off the PlayStation and go to bed. He groaned and said, "Oh my God, bro," before shutting the console off. I watched him go up the stairs, making sure he didn't try to stay down. The next day, to ensure this wouldn't happen again, I took his earbuds and put them in a closet in me and my wife's room in a place our son wouldn't find them. I also went on his PlayStation and figured out how to disable joining party chats. What is this guy's fucking problem? Like, this goes beyond, like, when I was younger, my parents just didn't want me playing games super late so that when I woke up the next morning for school, I was like super tired, you know? But like, it sounds like your son just wants to communicate with his friends and you are actively preventing him from doing that and being like an absolute terrorist about it. The dad is going too far, but is probably worried about pedos. No, he's not. Don't get me wrong. I think people do need to be aware of potential pedos on a gaming console or on video games. But number one, this kid's 16. I'm sorry, at 16, you should be able to have conversations with your kids that it's like, hey, this is how the world is. You need to be careful. Don't give anybody your address. If anybody online is like getting too close with you, you need to be careful of that. But like, you're 16, bro. What am I supposed to keep you in a fucking glass bubble your entire entire life away from everybody and anybody because there could be threats out there. Like, I am not giving this guy the benefit of the doubt. It is not about, oh, well, he could potentially run into a pedophile, because it's not like he's playing a game and like talking to random strangers. He's in a group chat catching up with his friends that you made him move away from. That's not a guy we give any sort of leeway to. That is a controlling ass terrorist of a parent who's trying to speed run no contact. Rather have my kid gaming safely than outside God knows where. Exactly. Like, that's a terrible argument if that even is his argument. In theory, if that's real, fine, but he's still a shitty ass parent, because that's not how you go about that situation. You can't throw your kid in a cage and then justify it by being like, we're keeping him away from pedophiles, because like, yeah, I guess you're right, you are, but you're also fucking not raising your child correctly. Wow, what a shit ass dad, bro. When he found out, he started giving me an attitude about how annoying I'm being. My wife thinks I'm taking it too far and being an a-hole, and some close family members think I'm potentially damaging his relationships with his friends. Yeah, you are, you dumbass. Guys, we gotta also consider, like, it's not like he did his research to figure out how he could possibly keep his kid from being on the console too late. He went, oh, I'm gonna take away everything that he needs and disable the actual feature to keep in touch with his friend. You guys are saying it in chat too. This mother is fucking useless. Like, what an absolutely useless mother. Sorry, I forgot to point this out, but Resilient Sage just said this and I was thinking about this. He bought those headphones. The kid valued talking to his friends so much, he bought something so that he could do it. And it is, I don't know, maybe not legally, but it is his. He spent his own money on it, and this guy's taking it away. Like, nah, bro. What an absolute dog shit dad. Okay, they did reply to some comments. Let's see. Yes, he bought the headphones with his own money, but the order and account are under my name. All right, guys, I guess my entire setup is owned by my parents. I ordered this on Amazon through their account. I ordered this on Amazon through their account. I ordered my camera off Amazon through their account. I ordered these monitors off Amazon through their account. None of this is mine, chat. Even though I used my hard-earned adult money, none of it's mine because I didn't use an account under my name. God, what a fucking boner. Okay, I'm guessing this comment is in response to like someone being like, why are you so restrictive? And he said, I don't want him getting addicted to electronics. If he stays up all night on them, it'll for sure happen. Yes, he goes outside often. He always went out with his friends before we moved, but I don't want to take the risk of him becoming a mindless zombie. He needs to know what the real world is. Okay, I agree with you. You should try to raise your kids so they're not addicted to electronics, but the way you're doing it is raising your kid to fucking hate you because you're isolating them. Like, you can raise your kid to have a healthy relationship with electronics without being a fucking Nazi about it. This guy's just, fuck, man. Kid's 19 now. I hope that kid never talks to his father. Fucking throws his ass in a retirement home in like 40 years. This is just the fastest speed run of a retirement home I've ever seen in my entire life, bro. He said, yeah, nothing hits harder than when I make my 16-year-old son resent the fuck out of me for isolating him from his friends. Surely that'll get the record for the fastest time to be put in a retirement home and never talked to again. Oh, brother. I guess I didn't even check. I'm sure the comments were like, you are a terrorist. Yeah, all the comments are saying you're the a-hole. Thank God. Son using text chats would let OP sleep at night. For real. I think if you're ever isolating your child from their friends, unless those friends are bad influences, you're a bad parent. R/relationship advice. I threw water on my boyfriend while he was sleeping almost 2 months ago, and now he's afraid to fall asleep around me. How do I help him trust me again? 23 female OP, 24 male boyfriend. Me and my boyfriend have been together for 5.5 years and been living together for 1 year. 7 months ago, he went to Japan with 3 of his friends, and while there, one of his friends was being a huge jerk. He would act exactly how you're not supposed to act, and the final straw was him getting too drunk at a restaurant and being belligerent that resulted in them getting kicked out. As payback, when he fell asleep, they filled a bucket with water and dumped it on him. He behaved correctly after they did it, and he told it to me as a funny story. Lately, he's been really inconsiderate. Even though we live together, we don't see each other a lot, and we've been lacking on dates and hanging out as a couple. Please tell me she's not going to equate fixing her relationship problems to a bunch of dudes pulling pranks on each other. Please. I work early in the morning and he works in the afternoon, in parentheses, not every day. His schedule changes, but he gets home when I'm already going to sleep. I've been trying to get a day where me and him can hang out in the afternoon when I get out of work, but he always already has other plans, and I usually spend my afternoons alone in the apartment. Most of my own friends live far away now, and my best friend just had a baby, so so I don't see her often. Okay, here's the thing, chat. I mean, we know where this is going, but I think it's okay to point out that this isn't okay of the boyfriend. Like, I get it. You guys are 5 years in, you're out of the honeymoon phase, but like, girlfriend says she wants to spend time with you. You spend time with her. And if you don't want to spend time with her, do you actually like her, bro? He's also been leaving his dirty laundry and leaving dishes in the sink when he leaves for work because he goes to the gym a lot and meal preps, but he always had the excuse that he loses track of time. I hate leaving dishes in the sink and laundry laying about, so I always do it. I tried talking to him about it, but it literally was like one ear and out the other, and it was like I had to get his attention 2 weeks in advance before he decided to go out with his friends. One time in particular, he didn't have work, and I was excited to see him. But as soon as I got home, he was laying in our bed, not doing anything. And when I cuddled him, he got up and said he has to go to the gym. And he went and was there for 4 hours. All of his friends go to the same gym and they goof off there. I cried for hours. Okay, listen, chat. We know where this is going, but I'm a little bit on OP side at this point. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm guessing where this is going isn't the right move, but I mean, does the boyfriend actually like her? And like, I think there's also a possibility that he's cheating. I'm not saying that that's like for sure, but what I will say is, as somebody who's been serious at the gym, 4 hours is an insanely long time to be there. Just gonna throw that out there. That's a crazy amount of time to be at the gym. My final straw was last month because I texted him asking if he worked that day, and he had an unexpected day off. I had the next day off and wanted to do something so we can sleep in together for once. He was at the gym when I texted him, and I said we should go to my favorite local restaurant and hang out, and he said he was with his friends, and he would, as long as they didn't want to go anywhere. I said that I asked him first, and he didn't respond to that. Later, when I had 30 minutes left, he said they wanted to go to KBBQ, so he was going with them instead. I broke down sobbing, and my coworker was worried about me. I went home, went on a walk in our neighborhood, and cried. When he got home, he had brought me a matcha, but I didn't want it. I tried to bring it up with him and started shouting a bit, but he said we'd talk about it tomorrow because he was tired and only said, "I love you. We can plan something next week." Wait, Ariel, I think you're overreacting, Sarby? Bro, I am not overreacting. This dude does not love his girlfriend. What do you mean I'm overreacting? I think this is so valid. Like, I am severely doubting if this man loves OP. I'm guessing where this is going is kind of stupid, but I wouldn't put this in Am I the Devil based off of where I think this is going. I should probably finish this before I say that, but like, we can tell by the title, right? I got really, really mad at him, and my sadness became such an intense rage. I told him I was going on a walk, and I walked to a bar 3 blocks down and drank. While alone, I had a lot of time to think about all my frustrations. When I came home, I wasn't sloshed, but I was drunk. I don't know what came over me, but I filled our mop bucket with water and I fucking threw it on him. It was so much that it damaged our floor, and I even dropped the bucket on him. Ooh, okay, not good. I've never seen him look so horrified before. When he woke up, he was choking on the water and it went completely up his nose. He almost had a panic attack because he thought he was drowning. In parentheses, he doesn't know how to swim, and he couldn't believe I had just done that to him. I started shouting at him that he deserved it for how he treated me, and that I wished he would find the girl he actually wanted because clearly he had no interest in me. Okay, so that's probably the only right part about what you've said and done here. I even accused him of seeing another girl. He didn't sleep the entire night, and I ended up sleeping in our pull-out couch. The next morning, I woke up hungover, but I felt satisfied. I helped him clean the mess, and we came up with what to tell maintenance. While doing this, I told him everything I felt, and he didn't say anything, just silently listened. The night after, he said he was going to stay with his parents for a bit, and he packed some stuff and left. I called him over and over, hysterical and begging him not to leave me and that I was sorry, and I only wanted his attention, but he said he understood. He stayed at his parents for 2 weeks, then came back, but he told me straight up that the only way he was comfortable staying in the apartment was if I slept on the pull-out couch and he slept alone in our bedroom with the door locked. I was devastated, but I agreed. It's now been almost 2 months, and this is our arrangement. He has been washing the dishes and doing the laundry more. He's been running a lot of my errands and telling me how much he loves me and making me coffee every day. He makes more of an effort to spend more time with me now. Damn, not the fucking bucket of water working. That's fucking insane. He makes more of an effort to spend more time with me now. The other week, he surprised me with tickets to see the Backroom movie, and I had a blast. He even surprised me with Chipotle at my job while he was passing by. At home, he's so sweet and loving, and it's like I'm finally getting what I wanted, but he still refuses to sleep in the same room as me. The other night, we were cuddling in bed watching TV, and I accidentally fell asleep. When I woke up the next morning, he wasn't in bed, and I found him asleep on the couch. When I woke him up, he flinched super hard at the sight of me. That broke my heart. I asked him if he was afraid of me, and he said that the truth was he's been having reoccurring nightmares of that night. No matter how tired he is, he cannot trust being asleep anywhere where I have access to him. And sometimes he wakes up scared because he has dreams where I'm about to do it again. I just cried and apologized over and over. I promise promised him I would never do it again. He didn't say anything, and that same day he made sure that he slept alone, and I did too. He did understand everything he did wrong, and he feels horrible for neglecting me so bad, but he can't trust me when he's sleeping anymore. Right now I'm writing this from the pull-out couch, and my heart hurts so much from my predicament. Is there any way I can help him trust me again? How can I support him and show him that I'm truly remorseful for what I did? I don't know what to do. God, I can already see the fucking YouTube comments getting mad about this, but I'm just genuinely wondering, because I'm seeing you guys in the comments, don't get me wrong, and like, I want to clarify, I don't think when you're having issues in your relationship where your partner is neglecting you, please, for the love of God, the answer isn't to get drunk and drop a bucket of water on them. Like, please sit them down, tell them your wants and needs, and tell them that if your needs aren't met, the relationship won't last long. Like, please. Anybody thinking about dumping a bucket of water on their partner? That being said, I just want to bring up that we are ripping into her right now for her partner acting a fool and her dumping water on him and saying that that's like the worst thing that she could ever do. I want to counter argue that, are we going to say that what OP and his friends did to the other friend who was acting a fool, is that also not okay? Because I actually think most people wouldn't bat an eye at this. Like, I don't think anybody is in the comments being like, well, the boyfriend did the same thing, so he's as much of an asshole as you. Like, I think if I wouldn't have brought it up, nobody would have said shit about that. I see you guys saying that getting waterboarded isn't fun. It's not like she put a towel over his face and like, I don't know. Like, I've gotten water poured on me and like, it wasn't a big deal. I don't know. Sue me. I've gotten water poured on me to wake up as like a prank and it wasn't the end of the world. Granted, don't get me wrong. A mop bucket full of water is fucking ridiculous and stupid and you shouldn't do that. But like, I don't know. I think if we hear a story about a group of their friends pouring water on somebody and like the boyfriend walking around touting it as like this funny thing that they did, I don't think we'd have the same energy as like the energy you guys and probably the comments are having at OP. Sunshine, this is what I'm trying to point out here. There's a double standard here. I think you guys are fighting it. Like, if we go back to the chats, when I read the portion about the boyfriend and his friends pouring water, nobody was batting an eye. Nobody was sitting there and being like, this is the worst thing that a human has ever done to another human. Don't get me wrong. I'm still saying OP sucks. I'm still saying the boyfriend sucks. I'm just saying you did something that, yes, was stupid, but calling this waterboarding and like the worst thing you could do to someone, I think is an overreaction. I think this was something that you thought in your drunk state based off the story you heard from your boyfriend would like get your boyfriend to stop acting a fool, which by the way, unfortunately it did, which is just, it's dumb. Like, that is not the takeaway we should put, but I'm just pointing that out because why? But I think it's just more unfortunate that for some reason this traumatized your boyfriend. I think it is objectively funny, at least the pouring water to correct behavior and it working is hilarious. I don't disagree with that. I was laughing. I was like, that's crazy. That's crazy that your boy fucking locked in and started treating you well. I don't know, man. Don't get me wrong. It sounds like OP poured an unfathomable amount of water on this guy. So like, yeah, we could definitely say that's dumb and stupid and like, what the fuck? But like, getting traumatized by it is just unpredictable. Like, if we poured buckets of water on people, like 10 to 100 people, I would guarantee most of them wouldn't get traumatized by it to this level. Traumatizing men for once. So true, Brie. So true. Yeah, like, is the boyfriend a cat? Humans aren't that scared of water. Listen, I'm not saying that he's not valid in being traumatized by it. I'm more just saying like, it's unpredictable. And OP's been hearing this story for years about how this form of punishment was able to kick this guy's ass into gear. And like, maybe that's part of the reason why this worked. The boyfriend's like, I treated my girlfriend so poorly, she felt the need to give me the same treatment that we gave one of the bros. That fixed him. Maybe that means I need to lock in and fix my shit. I don't know. Still not saying it's okay. Still not saying that's the way that OP should dealt with it. But I kind of am sitting here and I'm like, it's water, bro. The boyfriend having a bad reaction to it is just unpredictable. It's not like the OP was like trying to traumatize him by dumping water on him. It just ended up being the thing that traumatized him. The only thing I can really recommend is like couples therapy if you guys are trying to salvage this relationship. But like, yeah, man, you kind of broke his trust. Because that's what that prank is, by the way. It's breaking someone's trust. When you fall asleep by somebody, you're trusting that they don't do anything to you. And that is you breaking their trust. I'm not saying that that prank is appropriate by any means, chat. But all I'm saying is like, in social norms, we didn't bat an eye at the guys doing it to their guy friends. But now that it's this girlfriend doing it to her boyfriend, we all of a sudden have to call it waterboarding. And I, like someone pointed out, double standard. Not saying it's right, just double standard. We have to take it at her word that it's the water dumping that traumatized them. And I just personally think it's more than that. Oh, wait, what do you think it's more than that meaning? Listen, chicken, I don't disagree. I think there could be something. Honestly, y'all, the part to me that was the most like, ooh, ooh, that's bad, is when she mentioned that she accidentally dropped the bucket on him. Like, have y'all seen a mop bucket? Like, that shit would hurt. And are we talking like an industrial mop bucket that like janitors have? Or are we talking about that like Ford? Actually, I have one. Like, are we talking this bad boy? I know you guys have seen this before. This shit's everywhere. What does it say? I mean, the max line, which is about halfway, says like 6 liters. And I guess you could have gone past the max line. But also, like, I'm not trying to talk shit about OP, but like, we gotta consider that she's able to like lift it and pour it. So like, I don't know, bro. The thing that I'm really trying to point out here, chat, is I'm trying to understand if maybe this is a little bit of misogyny. Like, oh, when the guy does it, it's funny, haha, hee hee, but when the girl does it, it's waterboarding. Like, just throwing that out there. I'm not saying that I agree with her, but I'm just bringing it up. I'm just bringing it up. I have stupid triggers as well because of CPTSD, so I don't know if I feel off about evaluating how traumatic it is regardless of gender. By the way, lime juicing, I'm not 100% sure what you were saying here, but I don't want to say that like he's not valid in like getting triggered by this thing. Like, I understand what he's feeling, and like that is something that OP like accidentally did. To me, it's like if you jump scared your friend or something like that, I think all of us at some point have like popped around a corner and went rah to their friend, and that triggered a traumatic response, and because of that they couldn't trust you anymore. To me, it's like that, where like everybody at some point has scared their friend, and their friend, oh my god, you got me. But like maybe in some scenarios somebody got deeply traumatized and couldn't hang out with that friend anymore. Like, I don't know, I'm just pointing that out, where it's like I don't think it's that bad to like dump water on somebody. I think that's a normal thing that other people have done to other people. Like, it's not something that we are going around being like they waterboarded them. We should be arresting them for assault. Oh, okay, you know what, Choir Ghost? I don't necessarily disagree with this. The guy doing it is just as bad. Her doing this out of anger may be indicative of a pattern though. Choir Ghost, you could be right. We're kind of making assumptions here. I think the flip side of your assumption that we could make is we did see a large pattern of him building OP to her boiling point. At what point is it like this is reactive to like the neglect that her partner is showing her? Which, to be fair, I don't necessarily agree with her getting angry to the point of like dumping water on him because of it. She should just break up with him. But like, I don't know, I definitely saw it as like a reactive thing. He was actively disrespecting and like disregarding his part. The duality of chat, as someone with CPTSD, it's not just the water, but the water going up his nose to wake up to drowning and the bucket hitting him to flinch is pretty serious. And then somebody else said, it sounds to me like the boyfriend is playing up his reactions to make her feel guilty. I don't know, I think at this point we're making assumptions. I think we have to just keep going. But it's an interesting conversation. I'm not saying that what OP did was right. I want to clarify that. But I think the way that chat and like some people probably, I didn't read the comments, but I'm guessing if it's an AmITheDevil, like people were going after her. I don't think this is like burn her at the stake like some of the stories that we read in here are. It's more just like, hey, so like, how did you think that was going to be helpful to your relationship? And more just like, please don't dump water on your partner. Like, a prank that they pull on each other as friends is not what's healthy for like getting a behavior change between people who are in a long-term relationship. That's the main takeaway. Edit. This is copy and pasted from a comment I made that got buried. I didn't expect this to get so many comments and engagement so quickly. The post hasn't even been up for an hour. I expect this to be downvoted, but all right. To clarify, no, I do not think what I did was okay. Far from it. I know I said in the post I felt satisfied, but that was the day after because it finally felt like I got his attention. But even before he left for his parents, it dawned on me the severity of my actions. To clarify further, it wasn't just that he left a few dishes in the sink or that he wasn't paying enough attention to me. For months, we haven't seen each other often at all. I would only see him when I'd wake up in the morning to leave for work and when I'd go to sleep at night once he got home. We would only hang out or go on dates once or twice a month if I got lucky, and even then, they would have to be made more than a week in advance because he's so fast to go out with somebody else. With the dishes and laundry, he'd leave the dishes in the sink for days if I let him. He would leave an ungodly amount that would take me a while to finish. He'd leave his dirty laundry on the floor or the couch or bathroom. I saw his messes more than I saw him. No, I am not proud of what I did. I cried the entire time typing this post, and I understand what I did was irrational and no amount of neglect made what I did okay. I just wanted advice on how to help him because I hated that it got to this point. If there was a million things I could have done differently, I would, but I can't undo what I did. If he leaves me, then so be it. But I only care about him right now, even if it didn't seem that way. I hate that I did this to him, and I just want to help. On top of that, I want to acknowledge what I did was physical assault. I had no idea dumping water on somebody could be considered that, and the reason I brought up what happened in Japan is because that was what made me think of it. Okay, are we really calling dumping water on someone physical assault? I mean, in its most technical sense, sure, but it's a stretch. That's how I feel. Like, sure, fine. If you want to jump through hoops, yes, OP did physically assault their partner with water. But then we have to keep the same energy with the boyfriend. The boyfriend also physically assaulted his friend with water. And any anybody who's ever been to one of those water parks where the fucking buckets are filled with water and then they drop water on you, you're being physically assaulted with water. Like, okay, me personally, I think that's a stretch. If I dumped a bucket of water on somebody and they were like, you're physically assaulting me, I'd be like, really, dude? Really? That is a Karen argument. Call me crazy. I'm still not saying it was okay of OP to do that, but come on, bro. Come on. He talks about his trip to Japan all the time and always tells it as a funny story. I am not going to force him to do anything or even make him stay with me, but I will be speaking with him about what is going to happen moving forward. I know there's way more to this than just the act itself, and I have a lot more reflecting and work to do. I think there's a lot of reflecting and work to do, but it's more about how you go about problem solving in relationships and if a relationship is worth staying in, if you have to wake up call the person you love by dumping water on them. Like, there's work on you to like not get to that point, but there's also work on yourself to be like, okay, do I want to be with a man who fucking neglected me so long and it took me dumping water on him and traumatizing him to make him not neglect me anymore? I don't know. Edit 2. Okay, to answer the question, no, I did not directly throw the water onto his face. I just blindly threw it onto him from the foot of the bed. The mop bucket is not industrial size, but it's medium and I didn't fill it all the way. I know it doesn't matter, it's still horrible. I don't know how to describe how big the bucket they used was, but I know he said specifically in his face. Their friend was passed out drunk and was not in on it at all. My boyfriend didn't throw the water onto him, but he held the flashlight. I know it doesn't justify either side, but this is to provide context. I don't know, bro. Don't get me wrong. Don't be walking around throwing water on anybody and everybody, but like if we're gonna call throwing water on someone assault, I think that's dumb. If it was like a hard object that was gonna damage someone, yeah. Or if it was like an ungodly amount of water. Like, don't get me wrong, that's a decent amount of water, but it's not like you're fucking dumping a whole like couple gallons on that person. Yeah, bro, I don't know. I think that's a stretch. She shouldn't have done it. I think this is blown out of proportion, bro. It's fucking water. It's water. This also invites the question, when is it a prank and when is it retaliation? Oh, this was totally retaliation, chicken sandwich. Totally. Let's say a stranger goes up to you and throws that amount of water on you. That's not assault. I mean, it's annoying. And yes, I guess it's technically assault, but like, to me, it's more like, what the fuck are you doing? I get it that like, it's like, okay, technically it's assault, but I'm just sitting here and I'm like, there's just like so many random pranks out there that are probably technically assault or like whatever that like we all deem okay. Like the old joke where you would offer someone a piece of gum and then they touch it and they shocked them. Are we gonna call that assault? Technically, you're electrocuting that guy. I don't know, bro. Fine. If you want to call it assault, that's fine, but I really just don't think this is a big deal. It's a stupid, unfortunate event that like, yeah, it's your fault that you thought the idea in your relationship is to dump water on them, but like, I don't think you're like the worst person in the world because you dumped water on them. If you would have beat the shit out of him, yeah, fuck you. You're a terrible person. Water, I'm not gonna treat pouring water on someone the same as beating the shit out of them. It sucks that like it went up his nose and that traumatized him. I want to acknowledge that, but like, I'm so sorry. I cannot take a girlfriend pouring a bucket of water on a boyfriend as serious as how people are taking it in the comments. Like, I just can't. I don't think the bucket hit his head. Did she say it hit his head? I did say that was wrong, chat. I did say the bucket was wrong. Wait, how did she drop it on his head if she threw it from the foot of the bed? Hold on, let me read that. Let me go back because I actually don't remember that very well. She said, I even dropped the bucket on him. So not on his head. Guys, I just refuse to believe if everything, which to be fair, you can argue unreliable narrator. That's totally fine. We should just specify it wasn't on his head. If she threw it from the foot of the bed, unless she launched the whole bucket, which to be fair, this is going to come off sexist, but like if she's a woman, I got to assume that she's not like, if this was like a big buff guy, I could make like, that would be hard for me, chat, to like launch a whole ass bucket from the foot of the bed to their head in the air to the point where it hits them. Like water gets real heavy. So like, yeah, she dropped the bucket on him, which isn't a good look, but I doubt it was his head. I doubt it was his head. I'm betting she threw it and it was so much water, it damaged the floor. She dropped the bucket on him. It literally says that in here. I even dropped the bucket on him. So the way that I'm imagining this is she like went like this and then ended up just like dropping it on his feet because it's from the foot of the bed. Listen, I think y'all are really stretching to like make this as worse as it possibly can be to make this woman awful. She said drop, but I think she's lying. That's all conjecture, Destiny. I think she's lying and she actually pulled out a gun and blew her boyfriend's brains out. Like, that argument is the same. Like, we don't know. We just have to go off of based on what's in the story. Yeah, chat really wants to crucify her. That's how I feel, Strange Soup. I feel like you guys just want to fucking give her the fucking Jesus Christ treatment right now. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, is she wrong? Yeah. Is she even the devil? You know what? I'm willing to argue that. But I also just think people getting so butthurt over water is kind of like, okay, dude. Okay. it's water. Like, at her fucking throat. If anything, this is just an everyone sucks here, where like your boyfriend sucks, you suck, get it together. If we're gonna put throwing water in the same category as people who are like absolutely evil motherfuckers doing evil shit to their partners, I don't see that. I don't see this as like evil. I see this as a bad judgment call and a terrible idea of how to handle conflict in relationships. They really should break up. This is exhausting. I think we can all get behind that, Jay. She feels remorse for it, so she isn't as bad as she could be. That's true too, Death Pants. That doesn't dismiss the fact that she fucked up. I get why he's traumatized by it, but like, it's context is important. If you're dumping water on a complete stranger, then yeah, I understand why that would be assault and like annoying, but it's like, dude, that's your partner. Like I said, I think it's a double standard that we're like, oh, when he does it to his friends, it's funny and we can just brush it off. But when she does it and he has this traumatic response that she had no control of, now it's assault. Now it's something that we have to take very seriously. It's also not okay when he did it to his friend. I'm sorry, I just don't agree with that. I don't know. I don't want to live in a world where you can't be with your friends and just like mess around with each other. Me personally, that's fine. If you don't want water dumped on you, keep friends around you that won't dump water on you. But like, what if you have a phone on you? I don't know, dude. Like, that's unfortunate. If you got pushed in the pool with your phone in your pocket, are you fucking filing an assault charge on them? Or are you just telling them, hey, next time you do that, be more careful? Or like, just don't do that to me in general. Like, I don't know, man. I think it's dumb. Being pushed in a pool is worse. I'd actually argue that's true. Listen, I think it's just a different opinions, and if people have a different opinion, that's fine. But this is, to me, just like a bad judgment call. Calling physical assault on dumping water on somebody, it's subtracting from the actual issue here, which is the way that she handles conflict in her relationship. It's just a bad judgment call. And I think, yes, it sucks that like he got like traumatized by this, but dumping water on somebody isn't this horrifically awful thing that we should be like going at her for. In my opinion, right now, chat is treating this as if she just closed fist beat the shit out of him. I just don't think it's the same. Would you say she was being petty? I thought people like it when women are petty and get theirs. There's heavy double standards happening in chat. That's just how I feel. Like, if anything, I'm trying to defend the woman in the fact that like, I think you guys are like so attacking her for something that she shouldn't have done. Don't get me wrong. But like, there was none of this energy. There were no chats when the boyfriend did it to his friend. I don't think I'm wrong here. Like, I don't. Honestly, if you think I'm wrong here, I think it's just a disagreement on like what should be taken serious as like physical assault. Ari, this is how I feel. Honestly, I don't think it's that deep. That's how I feel. Punishment don't fit the crime. That is also how I feel. I feel like we're trying to like crucify this woman, come after her. I'm not saying that we shouldn't say that how she handles relationships is stupid. Like, I'm saying she's in the wrong. But like, to me, calling that physical assault, while it is technically that, is really dumb to me. Honestly, one could argue that the boyfriend is even more in the wrong, considering the friend was drunk. Yeah, no, he was drunk. He could have easily had a worse outcome. I agree. Like I pointed out, nobody said shit when the boyfriend poured water on the friend. Nobody was in the chat being like, wow, that's a really terrible thing to do. He waterboarded his friend. And also, I just want to point out, I'm not diminishing the fact that like the boyfriend did get trauma from this. I am addressing that that's unfortunate, but like, it's not like OP did that to him because she knew that that would traumatize him. It's like a series of unfortunately stupid actions with unintended consequences. And like, you shouldn't have done both of those things, but I don't think this is a crucify. I think this is like a learning moment of like, hey, next time you have conflict with your boyfriend, talk to him. Don't dump a bucket of water on him. I'm not going to yell at you for physically assaulting him, but I'm just going to say have better communication style. That's all I'm trying to say. And I don't think that's that fucking insane. I don't think calling this physical assault does any help for stuff that's actually physical assault. I think other people are going to also look at it and be like, wow, that's not that deep. It is not that deep that we call this physical assault. She shouldn't have done that for sure, but pouring water on someone is even a prank some people do for fun. So definitely don't think it's that deep. That's really all I was trying to say, bro. Yes, they both need therapy and to be single. I think that's the answer. Or they need couples therapy. I also think they never really got to the root of like, why does the boyfriend feel the need to hang out with his friends more than his girlfriend that he's supposed to love? I think there was no fix here. Like, there was no fix. He just realized, he came to the conclusion that he was fucking up because she was so mad at him. She poured water on him, similar to how his friends were so mad at their friend that they poured water on him. Oh, it's brutal, bro. They should probably just break up because he's clearly experiencing trauma, even though it's completely unpredictable. And that's just not going to work. So it's better for both of them to end it. I agree. I think that's how we end it. I think we can disagree on the like physical assault part. The only thing is that I'm just like, I think while yes, it is technically physical assault, we should leave the term for physical assault for like something, in my opinion, that's more serious. Like, I just don't think dumping a bucket of water on somebody is as serious as like close hand and hitting somebody. Now, if it wasn't a bucket of water, if it was a bucket of piss, a bucket of bleach, a bucket of acid, like totally different, totally different. And like, it's fair to argue, because I saw the arguments in chat, it's fair to argue that like, if you're doing this to a stranger, we should take this seriously because like, it's a stranger. How were they supposed to know that it was water that you poured on them? Totally agree with that, but that's not the scenario. May this love and friendship never find me. You know what, Ace Peace? And I respect that for you. To be honest, y'all, at the ripe age of 28, I don't want that shit anymore. I want to clarify that. That was some stupid shit that me and my friends did in college. I don't look back at the times that my friends poured water on me while I was sleeping in college as assault. Maybe that's a flaw. I don't think so. Maybe he's setting up an excuse for getting out of housework, playing the long game. You know what? He might be. To be honest, chat, I'm so sorry this fell through the cracks, but I think it's important to point out that like, he was being sketchy. I'm not saying that we have any evidence to him cheating, but the way OP was describing it was explaining somebody who, if we learned he was cheating, we wouldn't be surprised. Maybe the friends were on a gaycation. Lee, I don't actually think that's far off, bro. Why does he want to hang out with his friends so bad? But I guess you could also argue, why did he lock in so hard after the water was dumped? I don't know. Am I the a-hole for not backing up my wife after my brother-in-law called her a bad parent? Oh, Jesus. My wife and I are both 41, and I have an 11-year-old daughter and an 8-year-old son. Our daughter plays basketball, in parentheses travel, and our son plays flag football in the spring, which is recreational. My wife is not the type of person who organizes our lives around an 8 and 11-year-old sports schedule, and I agree with her on that. We refuse to let youth sports take over our lives, even if vacations and stuff conflict with that. Okay, I actually agree with that at 8 and 11. Maybe once they get older, that should change a little bit, especially if they're like serious about the sport, but at those ages, I don't disagree with that. A couple of weeks ago, we were visiting my wife's sister and her husband for Memorial Day. They live a state over, so we left on Sunday. My wife and I and my in-laws were talking, and my brother-in-law asked about our son's sports. At some point, my wife said that we missed our son's practice to come over. My brother-in-law kind of started grilling my wife after, saying that she's not teaching him to be a part of a team, being lazy, being a bad parent, etc. I overheard but didn't retort because I didn't see the point. Okay, so your brother-in-law is being an asshole to your wife and you don't see the problem with stepping in and be like, hey bro, stop being a fucking dickhead to my wife. Also, you agree with her. Like, it's not like you don't agree with this style of raising your kid. When we were driving home the following day, my wife asked me why I didn't back her up. I thought she forgot about that, and I tried to reason with her that she knows I agree with her, so I didn't have to play sidekick in that situation. She didn't like my reasoning and didn't talk to anyone but the kids for the rest of the car ride, basically pretending I wasn't there. Am I the a-hole? It looks like OP had 2 edits. The first one, he just said, holy shit, you guys, with a sad face. And then the second one, post is 20 hours old. I'm literally at my hair appointment, and you guys are still getting on my case. What the fuck? I mean, I just think at the end of the day, bro, back up your wife. Like, I think it's crazy, chat, because I don't actually think this issue is like crazy. Like, this might be a little controversial. I don't think that what the brother-in-law is saying is necessarily wrong. But I also don't think that the way that OP and his wife are parenting their kids is wrong either. Like, on one side, I think the value of teaching someone what a team means and being able to exist and work together in a team is important. And I see that. But I also understand them where they're like, hey, this is our lives and we're gonna value our family time over a sport. I don't think anybody's wrong there, but if he's coming after your wife, who is, let me say it again, your fucking wife, go in and defend her, especially if it's something that you actually agree with. Go in there and start arguing for her case. I think this one's a funny one for Am I the Devil, but I think it's just like, hey man, when your wife needs backup, give it to her. I think that's like a self-explanatory here. I kind of just want to see if OP replies to comments, or if he's just like a, whoa guys, you're being really mean to me. Oh my God, we got holy copium in the comments. Someone said the brother-in-law is pretty serious about sports. They have their own kids who play, so I didn't see the point in trying to argue with him. Okay, don't get me wrong, chat. I do think OP should have backed up his wife. I'm kind of sitting here and being like, I don't understand why the wife didn't pull OP into the conversation. Like, I don't know. I'm kind of surprised that this story got so many people heated. Like, yes, he should defend his wife, but I also think if she had been like, hey, husband, can you come over here and help me explain why we as a unit don't prioritize sports over our family? And you were like, nah, bro, fuck that shit. You're on your own. I think that's where I'm like, all right, let's fucking tear him a new one. But I kind of do a little bit, and not saying that he shouldn't have backed her up, but I do kind of understand a little bit of the fucky-wucky reasoning of like, we have to keep in mind, this is not OP's brother. I think it would actually be extremely different if it was OP's brother. This is his brother-in-law, which means that this is his wife's brother. I can kind of understand being like, they're just doing their own sibling thing. This isn't something that like I step into. Like, I'm trying to think, if me and my sister were in an argument and her fiance didn't step in to like support her, I'm not quite sure if that is like completely necessary. You know what I'm saying? Oh, it's the wife's sister's husband. Oh, I guess that's a possibility too. Okay, that's a little different. Hold on, wait, let me look it up. Oh, okay. Brother-in-law is my wife's sister's husband. Okay, you know what? And I changed my answer, chat. I do think OP steps in, because that's different. That does change the dynamic a little bit. I think now OP's a little bit more of a coward. If it's not her sibling, then I do think it's like, hey bro, step the fuck back. Like, I think a sibling relationship would warrant like, okay, you guys are just being petty siblings, but somebody who you're not directly related to is like, all right, bro, you are overstepping your bounds. So then I do think OP should step in. Very interesting. Like I said, guys, I don't know if this is an Am I the Devil situation. I just think this is a reminder to men to back up your wives. And I think there are certain scenarios, like I stand by what I said. If it's siblings arguing, you shouldn't just hop in unless your partner asks. If it's your wife arguing with her brother-in-law who shouldn't be berating her at a level that like maybe siblings can, that's when you step in. I will say, chat, I just want to point out, if the wife really wanted the husband there, she should have asked. I'm not saying that he shouldn't take the initiative, but it is a little bit of a why didn't you read my mind situation, which, to be fair, I think you should be mad that a man not related to your wife is like berating you and questioning the choices that you guys made together in a marriage. But that being said, I still think like if she really wanted him there, she should have been like, come over here and like help me argue with this guy. Yeah, system code, like I said, I don't disagree with like the fact that like maybe they are not teaching their kids the value of team. Like, I think that's a very valid point, which is a side discussion. I think that isn't like the focus of this post, but I do think, like system code said, they shouldn't be allowed to join such serious sports because they're being taught that consistently letting down your team is perfectly fine. I actually don't disagree with that. I will say they are pretty young, so like, I don't know. Are you really playing a serious sport at the age of 11 and 8? I don't think so. Do I think that you should just blow off your commitments? Not really. I think that's actually a bad look. Don't get me wrong. They're going to value family. Maybe these kids will grow up and be the Sam and Dean level of family values. I'm still watching Supernatural, chat. Americans take sports too seriously at that age. I also think that's an argument. I'll vax your mom. Crazy name, by the way. I just realized that's your name. Am I the a-hole for using my wedding veto on my fiance's sister after he used his on my close friend? Damn, okay. I, 27 female, am getting married in 2 months to the love of my life, 30 male. We have a large guest list and have been narrowing it down little by little. My fiance has said that we should both agree on who gets invited/uninvited, and I agreed to it. Our one exception is the veto, where both of us get to veto a person on our wedding list. He suggested it, and I agreed. The veto means we can cross a person the other wants to be there from the list and provide our reason why. My fiance has vetoed having one of my friends, and I'm disappointed. She was my roommate in college, and she has been with me through lots of changes in my life. I consider her close to me, and it hurts that he doesn't want her at the wedding. We don't have a bridal party, just a best man and a maid of honor, my fiance's brother, and my sister. So like, OP said, provide our reason why, but then she didn't provide the reason why the fiance is vetoing this roommate. Like, why would you omit that, OP? I don't like my future sister-in-law. We have very different opinions on several things. She lives a lifestyle I find distasteful, and I just don't enjoy being around her. Oh, dude, she's totally gay. She is totally gay, bro. My husband, however, wants his sister at the wedding. He worships the ground she walks on, and I don't know how he can be so blind about her. I have very few nice things to say about her, and he knows that. Because he feels entitled to use his veto on my friend, I thought it only fair that I could use mine on his sister. When I told him this, he told me he loved me, but that was crossing a line. I said then my friend had to come. We had an argument that ended with him saying that his sister was right about me, but oh shit. We had an argument that ended with him saying that his sister was right about me before he left for work. Now I'm just sitting here wondering if I was wrong to fight him on it because I love him and want to marry him. Bro, this sounds so fucking toxic. Holy shit. Yeah, I definitely got from this entire story that you really love this man and want to marry him. At no point was I thinking, wow, you are a fucking evil human being who probably probably can't feel love for another human being. No, never. Not even a little bit, chat. Bro, there has to be some info on the fucking comment about her having like different opinions. Fuck, it's another one of those with no links to stuff. Wait, what? Did I miss something when I was reading this, chat? Okay, so somewhere in these comments, OP must have replied to a comment saying that she thinks the dress the future sister-in-law is gonna wear to her wedding is inappropriate. So someone in the comments said, for those wondering, this is the dress OP thinks is inappropriate for her future sister-in-law to wear to her wedding, which is what triggered the veto. This is the fucking dress, y'all. I mean, I don't think that's a crazy wedding dress at all. It's a pretty cut and paste, good looking wedding dress. I mean, don't get me wrong. If you don't want somebody to wear a dress to your wedding, I think you should be able to be like, hey, would you mind getting a different dress? But I think vetoing them because they're wearing a dress to a wedding is completely unreasonable. Oh, someone asked, what's your issue with the sister's lifestyle? OP replied, she's not child friendly, overly involved in politics, and just has some very non-compatible values with mine. Yeah, what are those values, OP? Are you a homophobic piece of shit? God, I hope her ass gets fucking dumped. Oh yeah, here it is. My fiance's family thinks the sister's weird, but they don't ostracize her. They also think my fiance is too conservative, but they don't give him grief either. You know what? Fuck him then. You marry this absolute fucking terrorist and have a terrible marriage and a terrible life. Do it, bro. Do it, you fucking idiot. You know what? Let the shitty, awful, evil people marry each other. Let them raise kids that grow up and they're like, fuck my parents. These guys suck. I think that's just gonna become more and more common now. People are gonna be like, wow, my parents are hating ass bitches for no reason because Sky Daddy and the Orange Oompa Loompa said so. And they're gonna look at their parents and be like, yeah, low to no contact is inevitable. God, bro. I mean, are we shocked? Are we appalled? Not really. Of course, someone who's stupid enough to be a conservative is stupid enough to think that they're not an a-hole for vetoing their fiance sister and don't see a single thing wrong with that. Oh, based on the fact she said she wasn't child friendly, I think she supports women's right to abortion. Oh my God, you're probably right, Dino Girl. Wasn't child friendly, bro. She knows she's a fucking bad person. She doesn't care. She danced around that shit so hard. Like, just say you're a fucking weirdo. Just say you're a misogynistic, homophobic weirdo, bro. You basically said it, but danced around it. Pussyfooted around it. If you're gonna be a bad person, at least have the balls to admit that you're a bad person. If you can't state your political stance for the fear of people calling you an a-hole, you're an a-hole. No, exactly. I've never heard someone hide the fact that they support free healthcare, supporting children, investing in our education. No, 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 no. The people that try to hide their politics are the ones who are trying to take those things away and bring back racism in our country. Crazy shit, chat. People really do be kind of stupid, huh? Oh, these people roam the earth with us, chat. Diabolical. R/marriage advice from 9 days ago. My wife is not a good mother. How do I navigate this? 35 male OP, 35 female wife. My wife and I are parents to a 17-month-old girl. My wife had a difficult pregnancy with lots of complications and suffered from prepartum anxiety and depression. However, when our daughter was born, she was the perfect mother. She did all the night's wakings and feeds, stayed at home with the baby until she was 8 months old. Our daughter was always clean, well-dressed, well-fed, and entertained. Things started taking a turn for the worst after that when my wife went back to work. She started having anxiety attacks regularly again, and her mood was in a downward spiral until she was diagnosed with severe postpartum depression. Around this time, she started doing less and less around the house and delegating more and more tasks to me. At one point, she needed help all the time with the baby in the house. She stopped doing dishes, cleaning, and washing, and it all fell on me. She also didn't want to be home alone with the baby. She was in bed or on the sofa most of the time on a cocktail of benzos, antidepressants, and antipsychotics. For months, she said the medication and therapy wasn't working. I mean, I'm glad that she's on medication and getting therapy. Around this time, she also started to care less and less about our daughter. If she could delegate meals, nappy changes, bedtime routine, and entertainment, she would. I found myself doing more and more, even though my wife and I had always agreed that we'd do 50-50. This lasted 8 months. At one point, I was exhausted and done with this. I told her either she had to get better or I would ask for a divorce. I had to confess by then I didn't love my wife and didn't feel attracted to her anymore. Okay, so this is very different than this. Like, I want to reiterate that both are bad, but these are like two separate problems. One is like, hey man, you should have known that when you had a kid, this could be something that happens to your wife after having the kid. And if you chose to have a kid, you have to be prepared to work on this and handle this with your partner when it happens. So fuck you for giving up after 8 months. Like, in the grand scheme of things, that's not that long. And then I have to confess, by then I didn't love my wife and didn't feel attracted to her anymore. Did that happen during this 8-month period? And if that's true, that's crazy that you saw your partner struggling with her mental health and you went, now I don't love you anymore and don't feel attracted to you. Or this is how you felt for a while now and you chose to have a baby with this woman. Her personality was either completely obliterated by the meds and all she could do was complain that she was anxious over nothing all the time. Eventually she found a combo of meds that started working. She got better. She started doing more around the house, taking better care of our daughter, but was still seriously falling short of 50-50. Fast forward to now, she's doing better. She changed jobs, she got out of bed, but she still delegates tasks to me whenever she can, and I don't remember the last time she did the dishes. When she's with our daughter, she just sits there on her phone most of the time and barely interacts with her. She only bathes her twice a week. She doesn't prepare our daughter's meals and feeds her supermarket baby food. Shit, I've already gotten in trouble for this. I don't know what's appropriate to feed a baby at this point in time, but I don't really see what's wrong with this, but I don't know if this is bad. I also don't really know if this is bad. Chat, how often are you supposed to bathe a baby? Genuine question from the 28-year-old man without kids. Either way, while you guys are answering, I think this just goes to like, hey bro, you brought this child into the world. You can't sit there and complain when you have to take care of the child because your wife is severely depressed after having the child. Yeah, twice a week isn't that bad. I think also, guys, by that line, he meant that she specifically only bathes her twice a week, which I'm assuming he bathes her at least twice a week, if not more. So like, let's say OP is doing more than his wife. He's doing it 3 times, she's doing it 2. Like, I don't know. I could be wrong about this unless you're supposed to bathe babies every single day. I feel like 5 days a week ain't too bad, but like, I don't know shit about babies, bro. As soon as I get home, she expects me to take over entertaining the baby. Yeah, as you should if she's been with the baby all day. If she can skirt around meal and bedtime, she will. I had a serious talk with her about this, and at one point I told her she was a bad mother who ignores her daughter most of the time. She cried and accused me of being cruel because apparently being a bad mother is one of her biggest fears. I don't know how else to handle this. I'm just exhausted and I feel terrible for our baby. Oh, and there is a little mini update here. Oh my God, I forgot to change the screen. Fuck, my bad. I don't know. There were letters and words. You guys didn't need to see that anyways, but there is an update. I'll try to remember to change the screen for that. Okay, I want to acknowledge, I think this is appropriate that this isn't Am I the Devil? Like, I'm just of the firm belief if you have kids, you have to be prepared to take care of that kid by yourself, either for the entirety of that baby's life or part of it. And that has to come into the equation of, if that happens, am I willing and able to make the sacrifices necessary to make that happen? And if you do have a kid, the answer should be yes, because like, you never know what could happen. Your partner could die. Your partner could leave you. Your partner could get insane depression to the point where they can't help you take care of this baby. And like, dude, you had the baby. That is your bed to live in. Is that the best case scenario? No. Obviously, it would be better if your partner was there to help you and didn't have to battle with their mental health. But like, that is a full possibility when your wife has a kid, and you need to be prepared to pick up the slack on that. And calling her a bad mother when, like, don't get me wrong, you guys, and I low-key think OP's a little bit of an unreliable narrator, but I do think there were a couple times that like, maybe she's still building up to being a fully present parent, but like, we should be encouraging the times that she is so that that becomes more natural and is like rewarded, rather than being like, hey, I know you're trying your best, but you're still a bad mother. I feel like that is going to discourage her and further send her down the rabbit hole that she's already been in, which isn't what you want, and also not great for the woman that you're supposed to love that you also admitted that you don't love anymore. Won't even get her the help she needs, just wants to complain and complain. Here's the thing. It did say that she was getting medication and therapy, so I'm guessing she is getting the help for this. I don't think this is something we can point out and focus on that some partners don't do. Like, I don't know how involved OP is in getting her the help, but assuming he has like 10% in there, like, she's getting the help. So like, we can't necessarily make this assumption. Trying to be fair, I don't like OP. I don't think OP is handling this well at all, but we can't say that the wife isn't getting help and that OP has absolutely nothing to do about it, because we don't know. And we know that she is getting help. I do want to go to the update. Let's do it. Update. I see that I'm being called a jerk on all subs, so I thought I would clarify a few things. I love my daughter and I desperately want to be a good father. I also love my wife and I want her to be well. Flashback to previously in the story. OP's words. I have to confess, by then, I didn't love my wife. And then bro miraculously loves his wife again. Either you have a very terrible understanding of what love is and when you love somebody, or you're just a fucking liar, pants on fire. In case you're wondering, I didn't force her to do everything for the first 8 months. I didn't force her to do all the night feeds. She wanted to do this because I had work and she was on maternity leave. When I came home, I took over immediately so she could sleep. Unfortunately, my wife was/is very mentally unwell, and that made things very difficult between us. I try to be empathetic, but I'm not her therapist and I don't know how to make her feel better. Dude, yeah, you're not her therapist. You're her husband. Which, yeah, I guess your primary role isn't therapist, but I do think in a relationship, you are someone who that person talks to about their problems and the things that they're going through, and you're supposed to be there to like support them and help them through it, which is basically a therapist on crack. I don't know how to make her feel better. Nothing I try seems to work. It's horrible to see her that way, and I know it must be a nightmare, but we have a shared responsibility. It's not realistic to expect your partner to take over almost 100% for such an extended period of time. I'm a human being too, and I am burnt out. I'm sorry if I sound like a jerk, but this really comes from a place of exhaustion. I'm sorry, man, but you shouldn't have had a kid. Like, if you have family, reach out to your family and ask them for help. Like, you had this kid. I'm just asking parents to like evaluate everything before they bring a child into the equation. Because now it's like, dude, if you can't lock in and handle this because your wife is going through some shit and you need to be there for your wife and your baby, and you don't think you have the capacity for that, don't have a kid. I truly, genuinely fucking mean that. Don't have a kid. You are bringing a child unconsensually into a situation that you are not prepared for. And I'm saying this as someone, chat, where I don't know if I would be able to handle that. I think that would be hard for me. I think I could do it. I think I would have to like really neglect my work or like really get no sleep, really lock the fuck in. I think I could do it. Do I want to do it? No. I could. But like, let's be real. You don't get this luxury of complaining, bro. You are in the bed that you made. You need to lock in. I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. I hope you get some help. Like, reach out to your friends, your family. Just be like, hey, this is what I'm dealing with. Like, would you mind helping me? I just need like a night's sleep. When I try to talk to her, she gets defensive. Today, I told her we need to start cooking for our daughter, and it derailed into a big argument where she kept shouting, "Oh, then why don't you do it?" When all I did say was that we both had to do it and that we needed to meal prep. I explained to her that if I don't take initiative, she will literally do nothing to support our daughter's development. You can't raise a child by sitting on the sofa on your phone. Her reaction is always the same. She cries but doesn't change her ways. I come home to her on her phone, ignoring our daughter day after day. Our daughter gets on top of the sofa and falls. Wife doesn't reach for her in time because she was on her phone. Our daughter finds a lipstick and eats it. Wife only realizes after it happened because she was on her phone. It's all of this plus so many other instances that make me seriously worried about our daughter's development going forward. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't think this is a great look that your wife does that. That's not great for your daughter or for her, but like, you can't fucking berate her into getting better and getting to that point. Yeah, you guys are kind of saying it in chat, like, have they tried couples therapy? I agree. Like, I think they need couples therapy. I think they both need more therapy. I think they need to get other trusted adults in this situation that can help teach the mom how to raise a daughter correctly and help the husband get some sleep and help the wife get better. Like, it's just a mess. Like, I want to acknowledge that like OP has been dealt a shit hand, but like, dude, you're going about it the absolute wrong way. Everything about what you just said was counterproductive to like solving the problem. Berating your wife and making her feel guilty all the time is not how you make active change. I think you're being too harsh on OP. He's also burnt out and having his own mental health issues. Both him and the mom are in the wrong. Both need to get help professionally or familial. Like I said, I think you're right, but I think you do have to be hard on someone like this. Like, especially after that update. He's not understanding that the way he's going about this is counterproductive. And also, like, I'm sorry he's exhausted, but like, dude, you chose to have that kid. Bree said, seems like a non-empathetic man and a woman who doesn't know how to ask for help. No, for real. Like, this guy at no point is expressing to me that he actually cares about his wife. Like, he literally said that he doesn't love her and he wants a divorce. A couple of you guys are saying everyone sucks here. I'll agree with that. But I still think OP sucks more because like he's the one in here who kind of has to grab the reins and like direct the ship. And I know that's a huge ask of him, but like the wife can't do it. We take PPD very serious in this chat. All you can do is like direct her towards the help and guide her, hold her hand. And I understand being frustrated, but the way that OP is going about it is like accusatory. It's not like it's him and his wife against the problem. It's him against his wife. And I never agree with people who go about problems like that because that's That's not how you work with people productively. If it's you versus me, we are not gonna work together as a team. If it's you and me against the problem, we're gonna work on it perfectly. He doesn't understand that. He's like, woe is me. I'm not doing anything wrong. My wife sucks. I'm not attracted to her anymore. I don't love her. And I'm just gonna berate her until she figures it the fuck out. Like, I'm sorry, bro. You're just digging yourself a hole. Parenting classes and PPD awareness was definitely needed for the both of them. For real. I think having kids, it should be mandatory to have parenting classes. This is such a good comm. Why does he hate supermarket baby food so much? I agree. Is there something wrong with baby food? Like, call me crazy. Maybe it's a money-saving thing, but like, why is everybody so against baby food? Can someone educate me on this? Like, hey man, if your wife is already struggling with the day-to-day of what you already have, can we not add the extra thing of like giving your child food that you have to spend time preparing and adds to that burden? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. Oh yeah, I was gonna say it sounds like OP is blaming his wife for getting PBD. I think that's a good way to put it, Emperor Chaos, that I did not put it. It does sound like he's blaming her. He's like, what's the big deal? Get over it. It's like, that's not how PPD works, bro. And I just feel like he's not taking responsibility. It's like, hey man, you had the kid. This was a possibility. It unfortunately happened. That sucks, but like, lock in, bro. Some people feel it's because of the preservatives. Oh. There was a big issue with baby food containing toxins. I think asbestos. What? What the fuck? They're putting asbestos in fucking baby food now? What the fuck? These big corporations really cutting corners now, chat. Yeah, my son was formula fed and had so much supermarket baby food, and he's the tallest in his class and tests above grade level and everything. If there's something that's gonna fuck up your kids, it's not the fucking food, it's you being a bad parent. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. R/am I the a-hole relationships? Am I the a-hole for confronting an older student because my son has a crush on her? My son is 10 male. He goes to a performing arts school on the weekends. There's a 17-year-old girl there who's famous. She's been in a few professional acting jobs and has 100,000 TikTok followers. My son and loads of students there think it's really cool that she's famous, and he always comments on her videos being supportive. She doesn't respond to a lot of comments, but whenever she notices he or people from the performing arts school has commented, she replies. I thought it was sweet at first, until like 5 nights ago, my son had a sleepover with his friends, and I heard him talk about a crush he has on the girl from the drama group, and they follow each other on TikTok, and he messages her on there a lot. I asked him the next day after his friends left about it, and I checked their messages. This is how the conversation went. I have screenshots. I'll put what was said here. My son, hello, thank you for following me back. Her, no problem, you're a diva. Him, you're so famous on TikTok. Her, haha, my videos are trash. I don't know why I have so many for real. Him, I like your videos. You're a good actress. I think he meant to just say you are a good actress. Her, aw, thank you so much. You're a great actor too. OP son, thank you, smiley face. The next day, he sent her a TikTok trend to the show they're doing, which is Mary Poppins. He's playing Michael, and the 17-year-old is playing Mary Poppins. Okay, so they have like an existing relationship in the fact that they are in a play together. So this isn't like some 17-year-old who's like giving attention to a random 10-year-old that goes to the school. It's like y'all are in a play together. No offense, but why is your 10-year-old son on social media and TikTok? I can't necessarily disagree with that. I think 10 on TikTok is really fucking young. Okay, OP's son said, can you do this TikTok with me? And kid playing Jane. She said, looks fun. We should if your parents and her parents let you post on TikTok. OP's son said, yes, they do. The girl replied, great. OP's son, I'm so excited for Mary Poppins. She said, me too. You're amazing at playing Michael. OP's son said, this is my first main part. I was so happy. I didn't think I'd get a big part since I'm new in this group. She replied, oh my God, that's so sweet. I had my first main part at 10 too. First leads are special. OP's son replied, really? That's so cool. All right, and then here are messages from the next day. Wow, this kind of goes for a while, chat. Strap in. The next day, OP's son says, hi, how are you? She replies, I'm good, thanks. How are you? OP's son says, fine. Who's your favorite character from the show? She replies, Mary, but I'm biased. Who's yours? He replied, Mary too. I think Emily is pretty. She replies, oh, Emily Blunt from the newer one? OP's son says, yeah, you kind of look like her. She replies, haha, I see it a bit. He said, you do. do. So I think too, the important thing to kind of note here is like the son keeps starting the conversation. She's just being polite, but then she always ends the conversation, which, just touching on it, I'm sorry, I'm kind of going off of the title from what somebody put as the title to this Am I the Devil post, but like accusing a teenager of grooming, which is what is probably coming here. This isn't the activity of a groomer. Like, it doesn't seem like she's going out of her way. It's more like, hey, we're in a play together, so I'm not gonna like completely ignore him, but she's keeping it cordial and she's ending it when she should. Okay, so we have more conversations the next day. OP's son says, "Good morning. Your video is funny." She replied, "Thank you, thank you. I'm here all week." OP's son said, "You played a funny character in the last show, didn't you? I watched it before I joined the drama group." She replied, "Miss Wormwood." OP's son said, "Yes, she was my favorite because she was funny." She replied, "Thank you, haha, I tried." OP's son said, "You was good." And then now OP is picking up back with the narrative. That was the last conversation they had. I felt really uncomfortable with the fact she kept replying to him. Okay, I'm trying to think, like, if this is my daughter, I would probably be like, hey, be careful DMing younger kids. Like, even if you don't have bad intentions, it can look bad. But at the same time, she's not doing anything bad here. She's just being polite to somebody that she has to interact with day to day. So I don't really think OP has the right to be upset. And if he is upset at anything, it should just be the fact that his son has social media that he can act or do things that OP isn't okay with. Like, if anything, the takeaway there shouldn't be, I felt really uncomfortable with her replying. It should be, I feel uncomfortable with my son DMing people and leaving open the opportunity for someone who is actually a groomer to potentially take advantage of this 10-year-old who's on social media without any oversight. Okay, I felt really uncomfortable with the fact she kept replying to him, so yesterday I confronted her about it. I asked the director after dropping my son off if the 17-year-old is there yet. The director said yes. I asked if I could speak to her and him about something important together, please. He said, okay. The director, the girl, and I spoke together. I told them I'm feeling uncomfortable because my son has a crush on her. The girl went quiet, and the director said, oh yes, I can see why that would make you uncomfortable. Fuck this director, bro. Like, how is the girl supposed to control that? Oh, your son has a crush on an older girl? That's for you to be like, hey man, I know she seems really cool and like a crush is cool, but it would be very inappropriate and here's why. Like, that's on you as a parent to explain, because like, guys, I'm not gonna lie, all right? Let's bring it in here. When I was fucking younger, I definitely had some crushes on older kids, on older girls. Like, I'm pretty sure one of my friends I grew up with, shout out Alec, he had a really good looking sister who was, I think, 5 or 6 years older than us. I had a little crush on her. She was pretty. I think that's pretty normal. And it's probably also the same, like genders reversed, maybe even same genders too. Like, I think it's pretty normal, but it should be on the parents to like talk to the kid and like let them know, hey, not only should you not get your hopes up, but like also this is pretty inappropriate. It would be inappropriate if she entertained that crush. You don't blame the person that your son has a crush on. Like, my friend Alex's sister would talk to me too because I was around their house sometimes. Is she just supposed to ignore me? Like, that's crazy, man. That is a crazy expectation of a 17-year-old girl. I showed the screenshots to them of the conversation and the director and the girl read through them. The director asked her if it was just her being nice. She said, yeah, it wasn't supposed to be in an inappropriate way or anything. I just wanted to be supportive. I said, well, surely you think it's weird a 10-year-old would have a crush on a 17-year-old. She said, yeah, that's weird. I didn't know though. That's very true as well. What, was she just supposed to manifest the fact that this 10-year-old has a crush on her? The director defended her, saying, if that's the only online conversation they've had, then I assure you this isn't her fault. In person, we supervise the students at all times, and she has not said anything inappropriate to him here. I said that I'm worried she's grooming him. She started crying, saying she's not grooming him. The director said he understands my concern, but that's not what's going on here if that's the only evidence of this. Bro, this is crazy. Like, this is just a parent not wanting to do the hard thing of having a conversation with his child and just immediately blaming someone else. Instead of being a parent and being able to suss out that like, this is just a 17-year-old being polite to a 10-year-old that she interacts with day to day and that like thinks she's cool. Like, I'm not gonna lie, you guys, growing up, I had a couple of younger kids who thought I was cool. Maybe a couple of younger kids who had a crush on me. Did I ever like do anything to like be inappropriate? No, because that's fucking weird. And that sounds like that's what this girl is doing, except for she's not even aware aware that this kid has a crush on her. She's just trying to be polite and nice to this kid that she is literally in a play with. And now OP is probably making that super awkward for both her and for this kid. By the way, this post has an update. Oh my God, I can't wait. I said that I don't want her to talk to my son. The director said, I'm sure she'll happily block him on social media. And she said, yeah, I'll block him. I'm wondering if this is gonna get the son kicked out of the play now. I said, I don't want her speaking to him in the school either. The director said that's not really completely possible since they have a lot of scenes together. I said, fine, but if they're doing scenes together, there needs to be someone supervising the both of them specifically at all times. The director said, someone supervises all the students at all times. I said, great, but I want specific ones around the girl and my son. Honestly, the director should just kick out the son. All right, bro, you want to be a fuck-ass, dumbass parent? Deal with this back at home. I'm gonna tell the kid too. Hey, your dad's a fucking weirdo. He's the reason you're not able to be in this play. Sorry. Please, bro, I hope that's how it ends. I feel bad for the son, but like, genuinely, he should grow up to hate his dad. The director said he'll speak to the owner. I said, great, and left. The mother messaged me after rehearsal saying she's disgusted by what I'm accusing her daughter of. I said that her daughter's experienced something similar to what I'm suggesting in her childhood. Whoa, wait, what? Oh no, she said, not I said. Oh my God, okay. She said that her daughter's experienced something similar to what I'm suggesting in her childhood and would never want to put a child through that after what she's been through. And she actually wants to foster children when she's older because she cares so much about the well-being of children with trauma and hates anyone who hurts kids. I said that I'm just ensuring my kid's safety. She said I should just talk to my son about what is an appropriate age gap and what's not. Ding, 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 ding. Somebody give OP a crash course on how to be an actually good parent, and that her daughter is well aware that's a terrible age gap. I've gotten messages from other parents too saying to leave the 17-year-old alone and that I'm being completely unreasonable and they feel really sorry for the 17-year-old and she's a really kind person. Oh my God, what a fucking dumbass parent, bro. It just doesn't really logic to me how people are like this low level EQ to not be able to see the situation for what it is. Like, bro, you showed me these screenshots and it's like there are so many context clues why she isn't trying to groom your kid. It's your kid reaching out all the time. She's always ending the conversation. If she wanted to groom your child, she would be messaging him 24/7. Like, you're literally just making something out of nothing that really is required of you as the parent to do the parent thing and have a conversation with your own fucking child. And he still came to Reddit. No, for real. Chat, I'm just assuming this is a man. This could be a woman. OP never gave a gender. So like, that's important to keep in mind. Oh my God, there is a fucking update. And there's people keep asking me the same questions, so I'll allow you to put them below. Oh my God, bro, I cannot wait to fucking read this shit. No, this has to be a boy, mom. You might be right, actually. I wouldn't be surprised if OP's a woman, honestly. Then that has to be some like internal misogyny then, right? No, bro, I wouldn't be surprised. To me, if I'm the director, I'm like, all right, this mom is causing us problems. Like, we'll take his kid out of the play. Which sucks for the kid. I want to acknowledge that. But like, at this point, it's like, your kid's got to learn that mommy can fucking ruin shit sometimes. Now, like, it's going to be so awkward for him at school. Like, what a great learning lesson for the kid, bro. And the mom just shit it away by being an absolute terrorist, bro. All right, chat, let's do the update. So this original post was posted 9 days ago, Monday, May 25th, 2026. And then this update came in 3 days ago. So 6 days later, Monday, June 1st, 2026. Thought I'd give an update to those of you who are interested. I've been reposted on AmITheDevil and other social media platforms, so I thought I'd share an update as I have one, and it might make you guys see where my concerns came from. Oh God, here we go. Since then, the 17-year-old did block my son. I did tell him before confronting her and the director that he shouldn't be talking to older girls, and the reasons why I was concerned, especially given the fact he has a crush on her. Yet, he was still shocked when she blocked him. He told me he was trying to find the account and couldn't find it, and he's been blocked. I said it's good, because that's what I wanted, since he's too young to be talking to a 17-year-old. He apparently asked her in drama if she's deleted her account or blocked him, and she said she deleted it. Oh my God, she's trying to fucking save this son from knowing that his mom's a fucking terrorist. He came home happy, saying she didn't block him, she just deleted the account. They're still chill. But then one of his friends his age said she's still posting and the account hasn't been deleted, so he was upset she had blocked him. He then realized he hadn't been blocked on Instagram. She only has about 5K followers on Instagram, so she tries to follow everyone back. So even though the account doesn't have his name or face on it, she had already followed him back. He messaged her, and this is how the conversation went. Okay, first off, take this kid's social media away. Like, if this is how you want to act with your kid, like, fucking take this shit away from him? Like, what are you doing? Yeah, you guys are saying it in chat. This is just misogyny. OP has that internal misogyny, and she is letting that shit rip. He messaged her, and this is how the conversation went. OP's son, why did you block me? She replied, who is this? She also replied, probably because you're a creep, mate. She also said, and I was probably right if you're making some fake account with no profile to message me again. OP's son said, I'm not a creep. She said, who is it then? What's your main account called? OP's son said, why are you being mean to me? She said, who the fuck is this? He said, it's on TikTok. She replied, what's your username? OP's son said, it's the son's name from drama. You blocked me on TikTok. She said, oh, sorry. I thought you were someone else. I blocked a few people on Instagram for being weird. She said, sorry for swearing. Dude, she seems like a nice kid. OP's son said, why did you block me? She said, because you have a crush on me and I'm too old for you. He replied, I don't have a crush on you. She replied, well, your mom said you did. OP's son said, but I don't. He says, I have a crush on girl his age from drama. She said, aw, that's cute. He replied, don't tell her though. She said, I won't. That's really sweet though. There's no bad blood between us, but I'm gonna block you now, okay? No hard feelings though. See you in drama, smiley face. Okay, that's like a nice way to put it. I would honestly be like, hey, I have to block you because your mom's a fucking weirdo. Good luck with living with her for the next 8 years. I want her to be a little petty, you know what I'm saying? Son replied, but why? She said, it's not appropriate for us to be talking online. We can talk in drama though for scenes and stuff. OP's son said, okay, with a little like sad emoji face. Okay, so that didn't make me see where OP's concerns are coming from. That made me be like, oh yeah, she wants to be polite to your son who's done nothing wrong, but also not get herself in trouble. How the fuck is OP gonna end this? She then blocked him on Instagram. I'm honestly a bit mad she swore at him. I get she didn't know for sure it was him, but she knew she had blocked him, so she should have been more careful. OP must think the world revolves around her and her son. Like stereotypical, yeah, your kid goes to a performing arts school, mother and child. Also, she continued talking to him after finding out it was him. She should have instantly blocked him. Bro, she on a fucking trampoline the way she trying to jump to conclusions. Cause what the fuck are you talking about? This is a 17-year-old trying to be cordial to a child, even though she's been put in an awkward situation because of her fuck-ass mother, and you're just grasping for straws here. OP ends it by saying, which was what I was worried about, crossing boundaries. I've heard enough, chat. I think the director needs to get a hold of this post and just kick out the son. Like, I feel bad for the son, chat. I do. I really feel bad for OP's son because he has a terrorist for a mother. This mother is just objectively sucky. Oh, man. I just gotta thank God every day that I got Kathy for a mom, man. That poor kid. The next 8 years of his life are gonna suck. Literally, what boundaries is the girl crossing? No, for real. The mom just wants to make up boundaries that she's crossing. Nothing that this girl has done has been inappropriate. Like I said before, I think, like, to keep yourself safe, you should try not to actively DM and converse back and forth with children unless there's like a parent present or a parent is aware of it in some way, shape, or form, no matter what age you are. Like 17, obviously she's still a minor, but like, I get how that could be bad if the conversation was different. But because the conversation is the way that it is, there's nothing wrong here. And because of the relationship of them being in a play together, it makes sense the level of conversation that she had with this kid. Yeah, bro, I think the other mother should go to the director and be like, get this fucking kid out of here, bro. Also, it being on TikTok is crazy. No, for real. I think I'm gonna teach my kids a lot about social media etiquette because I think that is just what needs to go on here. Is like the mom clearly doesn't know how to appropriately introduce their children to social media if he kind of has this amount of free reign on Instagram and TikTok. But then also when they're on those platforms, I think there need to be like weekly check-in sessions of like, okay, like let me look at your DMs, let me look at what you're posting, let me look at what you're liking, and like let's go over those different things and like talk about nuances. Because I think when you're on social media, it's kind of a wild west, and like parents need to do better about teaching kids like, hey, this adult DM'd you, or if an adult DMs you, that's not okay. That's weird. Like, unless it's like an adult has been approved by the parent and there's a good reason, right? Like, only if it's like approved by the parent should you ever be conversing parent to child like that. Yeah, Instagram at 10 is kind of crazy. I'm trying to remember when I got Instagram. I mean, I got Instagram right when it came out. I must have been like 14 or 15. I wonder what the average age that kids are getting Instagram at. Okay, according to National Library of Medicine, about about 56% of US youth have their own social media accounts. The average age when signing up for an account was 12.6 years? I don't know. I mean, maybe if my kid was 13, actually, that would make sense. I don't know, man. Chat, any of you guys have older kids? How old were they when you allowed them to be on social media? I'd say 13 minimum. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel too. And even then, like, I think it would be like a conversation with my kids about like, if you can really stay off of it, stay off of it. But like, I kind of understand a little bit the factor of like, oh, my friends at school have social media and I don't. And because of that, I'm alienated, which like, I understand how like, obviously you don't want your kid to be like the only odd man out. I think it was 12 or 13, but they snuck it earlier. Yeah, that's the other thing you have to worry about, right? Oh, that doesn't account for those lying about their ages. Oh my God, that's so true. I'm not gonna lie, I lied about my age when I first made my Facebook account because I think you had to be 13 and I must have been 12 then. R/relationship advice. Wife wore a bikini in Goa without telling me. Can I start trusting again? 35 female wife, 35 male husband. Imagine being a 35-year-old thinking you can order your wife not to wear a bikini when she's also 35 years. Like, that's fucking insane, man. I'm sorry, you gotta weed that stupid shit out when you're 35. Also, where is Goa? Oh, it's in India. Oh, got it. My wife recently went to Goa with her college friends. According to her, it was an all-girls trip. When she came back, she showed me a lot of the photos from the trip, and she also showed me a lot of photos in the clothes we bought together for this trip of hers. A few days later, I happened to see one of her friend's Instagram stories where she was wearing a big, oversized t-shirt. It made me curious, so I checked a few more stories from her friends using her phone. Turns out she was actually wearing a two-piece bikini underneath, and there were multiple photos and videos of her in a very revealing bikini. What made it worse was that I also found chats where she had specifically asked her friends not to tag her in any bikini pictures. Okay, so you checked her phone without her knowing to see if she was wearing a very common piece of swimwear? Oh yes, I'm sure that is a very trustworthy thing of you. When I confronted her, she said her friends pressured her into wearing it. She didn't know how to tell me afterwards because she knew I wouldn't approve. She claims that she was planning to tell me eventually. I honestly don't buy that. Another thing that bothered me was that although she kept calling it an all-girls trip, I spotted a guy in at least 2 of her friends' Instagram stories. He wasn't tagged and I have no idea who he is. She says he was just someone from another group and I'm making too much of a fuss. I would have told her not to wear a bikini if she had asked me beforehand. Not anything you should have a say in. If anything, you should be ecstatic. Like, my girlfriend wears a bikini. I'm like, hell yeah. Send me photos, bro. Like, God forbid you enjoy your wife in a bikini, bro. God forbid. Okay, wait, really quick, chat. I should probably ask. Because based on OP saying Goa as if everybody knows what Goa is, I'm going to assume that OP might be from India. Anybody familiar with Indian culture and if it's like not appropriate to wear bikinis? Like, me personally, I would argue that that's stupid, but I think it might be important context to know if that's like common thing. Don't get me wrong, I don't think that it should exist or that it's right, but like, I don't know, just more context to the situation and why this man feels so emboldened. Correct, modest dress is more standard. Source, I lived there for 3 months. I mean, y'all know how stupid I think modest dressing is. I think it's regional because India is so large and has such diverse cultures. Low-key Goddess said also Goa is known notoriously in their society as a party town. Like, God forbid people have fun. Yeah, like, I think it might be important to note that, like, in Indian culture, there's probably a little bit more pressure for this type of thinking. That being said, I don't think that we should, like, oh, it's their culture, whatever, gotta respect that. Like, I think it's like, hey, man, that is so outdated. Your wife is her own person who can wear a bikini without you being there, and it can be fine, and that's how it should be. I'm sorry that that's your culture, bro, but your culture's dumb. Sometimes culture is ass. I agree. I think every culture has shit that's ass. I don't know, if this was an American, this would be fucking insane. You know? I think if it's like, okay, the context is that this is probably pretty ingrained in their culture to think like this, it's like, okay, it's still insane, but like, then it's a little bit more understandable. Understanding does not mean agreement. I would like to clarify that. I would have told her not to wear a bikini if she'd asked me beforehand. I don't think there's anything wrong with a husband having boundaries around how revealing his wife dresses around random men. These days, people label every preference as controlling, but I don't think expecting some level of modesty in a marriage is unreasonable. Over a fucking bathing suit, bro? Yeah, it's unreasonable. If your wife was like going to male strip clubs or, I mean, even that I think is completely different, low-key. Women going to strip clubs is way different than men going to strip clubs, and I stand on business when I say that. Oh my God, wait, OP followed that lineup with, I'm all for women having equal rights, careers, independence, and traveling wherever they want, but I don't believe parading around half naked in front of strangers is some symbol of empowerment. All right, bro, keep that same energy. Never take your shirt off. Sorry, bro. You have to be fully clothed. I better not see an inch of skin. win from you, my boy. Like, just say you're not only controlling, but an insecure little bitch. Baby back bitch over here. Oh, my wife can't wear a bikini because that's not modest. Like, my guy, just say you're a bitch. Just delete this post, edit, I'm a bitch. Like... For me, though, the bigger issue is the deception. She hid it, selectively showed me only the covered up photos, told her friends not to tag her, and I found out by accident. I think that's just an indication that she doesn't fuck with your controllingness, and maybe she should leave you. She's apologizing to me every day now, but she's only doing that because she got caught. I don't know what to do or say anymore. Please tell me people are ripping this fucking idiot in the comments. It's hot in Goa. Why would she wear anything else? Didn't even think of that. What's wrong with a bikini? Exactly, bro. God forbid your wife wear what's normal for someone to wear when they go swimming? Good Lord, I hope this is rage, baby, because you're about to get roasted in the comments. No, for real. Oh my God, there's a little bit of an update. Wait, but he starts the update with, firstly, no, I will not be sharing photos of my wife or the other man's Instagram profile. That's so funny. People were like, let me see your wife in a bikini. Oh, that's so good. That's so good. Okay, it looks like he like deleted his previous post. It's not showing up on his actual profile, but he made this update and then replied to some comments on the update. So let's just read this. Firstly, no, I will not be sharing the photos of my wife or the other man's profile. Please stop asking. Apart from the obvious privacy concerns, I find those requests genuinely strange. That's such a troll though. Hey man, how much of a bikini are we talking here? Can you send me pictures just so I can confirm how bikini-esque this bikini is? Secondly, we are currently separated. When I confronted her, she became defensive and accused me of blowing everything out of proportion instead of addressing what I had found. She is currently staying at her sister's house with our kids. I mean, good for her, bro. Fuck yeah, stand your ground, girl. Her family has reached out to ask what happened, but I haven't told them anything yet. At this point, I still haven't decided what I'm going to do. I don't want a divorce, but that shouldn't be mistaken for me wanting to give the marriage another chance. Don't want a divorce, but that shouldn't be mistaken for me wanting to give the marriage another chance. So you want to be in the marriage, but not be in the marriage. Oh, man. That's so funny. That's so good, man. Emotionally and personally, I'm done. The only reason I'm even considered staying legally married is because I don't want to risk losing custody of my children or end up paying rupees in alimony after being the one who was repeatedly lied to. Whether that's realistic or not is something I'll have to figure out with legal advice. Finally, yes, I have preserved everything. I took screenshots of all the relevant conversations, photos, and evidence, including her repeated lies to me and messages to her friends asking them not to tag her. Everything has been backed up to my Google Drive. I also saved the other man's profile and recorded my screen while going through it so that nobody can later claim the images were edited or AI generated. I haven't shared any of this with anyone, not her family, not mine, and not our friends. I mean, shit, bro, if there's anywhere it might fly, it would probably be India, but can you imagine being in the divorce proceedings, pulling up in your phone and being like, you see, judge, you see? She wore a bikini and she didn't tell me. Like in America, I would really just hope that the judge is sitting there like, you're so dumb. Oh no, I really hope that wouldn't fly in India, man. Wait, people are giving him advice? My small piece of advice is that you should connect with your wife's female friends and ask them what happened on the trip, and also tell them not to mention this conversation to your wife. With the help of your friends, you should also talk to that man, butter him up, and ask what happened on the trip. Additionally, hire a private investigator to help you collect proof of cheating if there is any. Okay, so we're downvoting this and being, you are such a loser. Like, what a boner. OP replied to that saying, well, most of them believe that I am an a-hole. Highly doubt they'll respond to my calls or texts. Yeah, that's because you are, you absolute boner. Sorry, guys. Gotta insert myself here, you know? You're a baby back bitch, dog. Like, get better. Oh my God. Sincere's apologies, man? Like, who the fuck are these people? What she did is, okay, are we missing a post? What she did is not normal for someone in a happy, stable marriage. Wanting to wear a fucking bikini because your controlling ass husband is a piece of shit. God forbid she wears a bikini and doesn't listen to her shit ass husband. Who are these people? Am I missing something? You know what? I'll say it, chat. I'll say it. I hope his wife cheated on him. Shit, bro, cancel me. I don't give a fuck. If your husband has the audacity to think that he has the right to tell you to not wear a bikini, that man deserves to get cheated on. Sue me, bro. I can't wait for that virgin in my subreddit who makes... Sarby said that he's condoning cheat. I don't care. That guy is a loser. This guy deserved to get cheated on. I hope she slept with that man. I hope she leaves your ass, gets full custody of the kids. You have to pay child support for the rest of your kids living with your wife, and then she goes and fucks that dude she met on his trip. I hope he gave her the sloppiest and toppies. I agree. Just okay, this is what we're missing. Update post, wife hid more than just a bikini. A few days ago, I posted here asking whether I could trust my wife again after discovering she had worn a bikini in Goa, hidden the photos from me, and asked her friends not to tag her. First of all, thank you to everyone who took... Okay, shut up. After our conversation, I couldn't shake the feeling that something still wasn't adding up. The guy I had briefly seen in a couple of the Instagram stories kept bothering me, so I tried to find out who he was. I eventually found his Instagram profile. One of my wife's friends' posts had a comment from him saying he'd enjoyed meeting them and mentioning they could plan a hiking trip together sometime. His profile was public, and that's where I saw a lot more than I'd seen before. It turns out he didn't just appear briefly in the background. He met my wife's group in Goa at Vegator Beach, and from his highlights, it looks like they spent more time together afterwards, including at another place with a pool. There were 5 stories featuring my wife. In one, he had lifted her in his arms. In another, his hand was around her waist, lower than I was comfortable with. There was also a photo of just the two of them together. Yes, he had similar photos with another woman from the other group as well, but that doesn't make me feel any better. And these are only the stories he chose to save permanently. I have no idea what was posted or what has already disappeared. To be clear, I don't have no evidence that my wife cheated physically, and I'm not going to accuse her of something I can't prove. But at this point, that's almost secondary to me. What hurts is that she didn't just hide the bikini thing, she hid this guy too. I mean, bro, if she had to hide the bikini thing, she definitely had to hide this guy. When I first asked about the man in the story, she brushed him off as just someone from another group. She never mentioned that they'd actually spent time together or that there were photos like these. Now I find myself questioning everything she's telling me because every time I discover something new, it's something she chose not to tell me. Some people will probably say I'm overreacting because none of this proves an affair. I am sure they are right, but everyone has different boundaries, and for me, this crosses mine. If the roles were reversed and I was lifting another woman in my arms, holding her around the waist, taking photos together, and then hiding all of it from my wife, I know exactly how she would feel. The lying and the deliberate concealment have done more damage than the bikini itself ever did. If we didn't have children, I honestly think this would be a deal breaker for me, but after 7 years of marriage and with 2 young kids, walking away isn't a simple decision. She's a housewife, and divorce would have enormous emotional and financial consequences for everyone involved, aka you would have to pay child support and be sad about it. That's what he means. Also, be sad that you don't have a housewife anymore. Right now, I honestly don't know what I'm going to do. I have a lot to think about before making any life-changing decisions. This will probably be my last update on the situation, which it wasn't. To everyone who commented whether I agreed with you or not, thank you for taking the time to respond. I mean, listen, this is bad outside of the context that this guy is a fucking controlling evil husband. Like, don't get me wrong, guys. I think you shouldn't be wild about your partner taking a picture with a guy and his arms around her waist or whatever. I think if my girlfriend had a photo like that, I'd be like, hey, not wild about that. Let's talk about that and avoid that in the future. Honestly, y'all, like, don't get me wrong. Maybe the wife was doing some hanky-panky, but low-key, I still think if this man, and I'm jumping to conclusions here, but if this man is like, my wife cannot wear a bikini and I have the right to control that, I firmly believe this is a shit-ass husband. And you can't convince me otherwise. You really can't. You can't come to me and be like, well, I'm sure he's actually great in every other aspect. This was just totally the only time that he took his wife's phone, went through her text messages, went through her Instagram following and her posts. Surely this is the only time, and this is actually a redeeming man. Like, you just can't convince me of that. Maybe what I said was a little aggressive because I don't condone cheating in most situations, but there are situations where I'm like, girl, you in a shit-ass marriage? Like, don't get me wrong, you should probably cut that shit off first. But like in India, I'm sure it's not as easy as it is like in America. Oh my God, this is an arranged marriage. Sorry guys, I totally forgot about that. But like, we should also keep in mind that this is an r/arranged marriage. Dude, I feel like I'm shitting on culture today, but just genuinely, arranged marriage is the dumbest shit I've ever heard. It literally just goes back to like people looking at daughters as property and trading up that property for shit. Getting arranged divorce and arranged child support. I can't imagine that, man. If my mom tried to pick the woman that I married, I'd be like, oh, so you want me to be unhappy? You want me to be miserable the rest of my life? Like, the woman that my mom would set me up with would not be a woman that I would be attracted to. Like, I just wouldn't. I'm sorry, I love Kathy. She has no clue how to pick women. Am I wrong? Am I wrong for calling out my friend for setting me up on a pity date? I, 32 male, have a friend, 28 male, who's the best looking man. Seriously, he makes Chris Hemsworth look ugly. Pause. So like, are you into him, bro? Like, I've been struggling being his friend. He's been undermining me for years. Nights out, stealing all the girls. Shopping, staff throw themselves at him. On the street, women have asked me for a picture together with him. Let's call him Jack. I've been told I'm not bad looking, but the fact remains I'm a 6 out of 10 at best, but Jack's a 10 out of 10. As much as he's a bro, knowing him is a liability. All right, chat, hot take. If this is how you think about yourself in relation to your friends, you are truly a 6 out of 10. If you walk around thinking this, you're giving 6 out of 10 energy. For sure. He's not making you a 6 out of 10. You're making yourself a 6 out of 10. And if you don't understand that, you're hopeless. It's been eating into my life a lot, but one area I'm doing well is at the gym. I go about 4 days a week, and there's someone I'm into who goes to the gym. Let's call her GC for Gym Cutie. Gym Cutie is in her mid to late 20s. I've been going to the gym for over 6 months. I've seen her for a couple of months. I know her name. Gym Cutie and me flirt. I've spotted her and we banter. It's gotten to the stage where I'm on the verge of asking Gym Cutie out. I've been trying to keep Jack from the gym, but last week he was staying down my way and asked if he could go with me. Now, the time he mentioned that he wanted to go was not my usual time, and Gym Cutie doesn't usually go, so I thought, why not? So we went. I was having a good session. Then suddenly, I see Gym Cutie. She's going on a different day because she's going away for work tomorrow, and she's getting a workout in. I'm thinking things are going good. It's a good time to ask Gym Cutie out. Fucking Jack walks over, and she's gobsmacked. Like I've gone from a potential mate to doesn't exist. Such a fucking weird way to view yourself in relation to women. I see them flirting, so I just walk off and go to get changed. As I'm getting changed, he comes back in and I see him sorting his phone out. I ask him what happened. He said Gym Cutie gave him her number. I'm so speechless, I just stop talking and carry on getting changed. I'm driving us back from the gym and he's talking about Gym Cutie and them going on a date. After a while, I just fucking snap and rip into him saying he's a prick. And he's cock blocked me and stole my girl. Ooh, definitely not your girl, bro. Dude, she definitely was not that into him. If a gym girl is into you, she will go out of her way to like make sure you guys follow each other on Instagram and interact on there. If it's been 6 months and you guys just talk every once in a while at the gym, you weren't as close as you think you were, you know? Calling her my girl is an insane stretch, dog. He's trying to act all apologetic and says he has no idea, which he didn't because you never communicated to him that you had a crush on her, by the way. And I just drop him off at home and tell him to get out. I'm so down. He didn't type this, but I'm just gonna say it like this. I'm so down bad, I haven't been to the gym this week. I also haven't spoken to Jack. A couple of days ago, Jack rings me out of the blue asking me if I'm okay, and he hasn't heard from me, and Gym Cutie hasn't seen me at the gym. He's worried about me. He says he's got a peace offering and says he's sending me an Instagram profile and says to look at it before I say anything. I look at what he sent me and it's a woman. She's a little chubby, in parentheses, not ugly or fat. Let's be reminded, chat, we have proof that this is a mid-ass man, by the way. Like the last post, well, I made an assumption, right? Like, we didn't know if that guy was actually a mediocre guy. In theory, he could be good looking. I refuse to believe that, though. In this one, we have confirmation from OP himself that he is mediocre. He has no right to be talking this way about anyone's body because he looks mid as fuck. He said he looks mid as fuck. Oh my God. And also, she doesn't look like she goes to the gym. She also looks a bit nerdy. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And he says it's a friend of Gym Cutie's. I'm angry because it's obvious him and Gym Cutie have been talking. He says, yeah, me and Gym Cutie went out for a coffee and we spoke. She feels bad. Okay. All right, I'm not saying I side with OP here, but like if you guys are as good of friends as you say you are, a little bit of a bad friend move. Sue me. Don't get me wrong. I don't think OP deserves a good friend at all. But if he was hoping to preserve his friendship with OP, that's kind of a bad friend move, bro. She feels bad I liked her and she didn't like me, and she thought of a friend I'd like, 34 female. He's trying to sell me on this chick, saying stuff like, bro, she sounds nice. She's a nerd like you, loves cats, and is a geek. If it was a few years ago, I'd probably be interested, but I've been trying to distance myself from that sort of girl. Yeah, sounds a little bit like a manosphere guy. Like he fell down that Andrew Tate pipeline, thinks that he's like entitled to like a fucking model or some shit like that. Brutal, bro. Apparently him and Gym Cutie have spoken to the girl and she's interested in me adding her and going on a date. Apparently Gym Cutie has really been selling me. I fucking ripped into him. I'm telling him he's a twat for doing this and setting me up on a pity date and stealing the girl I like. He's all like, bro, chill. And he thinks it's a good thing that this girl's waiting for me to add her. I tell him to leave me alone. Am I the a-hole for ripping into him, setting me up on a pity date? I mean, okay, this is so crazy, chat. Hear me out. Obviously, I don't like OP. To be honest, the friend kind of sucks here too, low-key. I mean, surprise, surprise, OP attracts shitty people in his life, but like completely void of OP's reaction and this entire fucking post where he's an entitled incel brat. Kind of a fucked up friend thing to do. Go to the gym with your friend, you go up to talk to someone he's talking to, you get her phone number, you learn that friend has a huge crush on her to the point where he kicks you out of his car and tells you to go home, so clearly it hurt, and then you proceed to go on a date with her, and then because the date went so well, you guys scheme to set your friend up with one of her friends. Like, low-key, if we're just addressing the question, I actually don't think OP's wrong for that. Just for that. I want to clarify that. Everything else about OP sucks, and this guy blows, and like, it's probably a good thing that bad shit's happened to him, and he needs to get fucking checked. Like, it definitely belongs in Am I the Devil? But I have to call a spade, chat. I actually think it was really wrong for his friend to do that shit. Is that crazy of me to say, y'all? I might be wild for that, but I do think that's a little uncalled for. Okay, you guys are saying it. Everyone sucks in this story. Thank God. I was like, this might be a little controversial, but like, low-key, for what OP's asking? Yeah, OP sucks, but not for this reason. Exactly. Like, OP sucks for his own separate reason. In the situation, technically not, but like, because of the way that he explained the situation to us, we hate him. He sounds like a boner. Like, I am glad that Gym Cutie didn't end up with him. Not that she ever would have. It doesn't even like sound like she ever liked him, you know? I think guys get too, and like, I've succumbed to this, but I came to this conclusion in my adult life. I think if you're a guy, and maybe this applies to women too, for the sake of time, you can't develop like an insane crush for anybody and not do anything about it for 6 months. Call me crazy for that, bro. Call me crazy for that. If you meet someone and you think there's like a spark there and you want to explore it and you're an adult man, you should ask them out on a date. And then if they say no, you need to respect that no and go do your own thing unless they reach out to you later on for whatever reason. To me, that is how if I have a son, I want to operate to teach it. Like, you got to confidently go up to that person, ask them out on a date, go on the date if they say yes, and if they say no, you cut your losses and you move on. Because like, pining for them for 6 months and like building it up in your head does nothing. Just being direct and being like, hey, I think you're really cute and I enjoy our conversations. Would you be down to grab some coffee for a date and like my treat, and we'll just get to know each other a little bit and spend some quality time together? If she says yes, awesome, great, fantastic, big fat WW. She says no, now you're not wasting your time. Like, chat, I'm not gonna lie, I heard the other day of someone that I know who like did that. They like yearned for someone for months and months and months, and then somebody swooped in and snagged them. And I was kind of sitting there and I was like, you should have said something earlier. If you were pining for months, like, why are we past the age of 22? After the age of 22, bro, it can't be about crushing. Maybe even earlier than that too, I'd argue. But like, it has to be about, I think I want to see if we will be long-term compatible because I like you, I'm attracted to you, and I want to see if I'm attracted to like everything about you. Let's date, or let's go on a date. Gym Cutie trying to get a friend to smooth things over by setting them up. Just tell OP you aren't into him. Oh yeah, and then Chicken Sandwich said, yes, exactly. She is trying to offer her up as a consolation prize rather than actually introducing them as a genuine connection. I do agree what you're saying, Chicken Sandwich. It is more of a consolation prize and more of like a keep the peace, right? Like, as much as I think OP should have gone and just asked her out on a date, I still think it's wrong for his friend to learn that that's how he felt about that girl and just brush it off. I don't know. If any of y'all take any advice out of this, it's just, bro, ask the person out on a date. Guy or girl, I think, actually. I'm gonna be so real, chat. It's kind of hot when girls ask you out on a date. As a man, when a girl goes, I think you're really cute, we should go out on a date, I'm like, hell yeah. R/relationship advice. Feeling shocked and confused after I, 22 male, saw my girlfriend, 21 female, without makeup. How do I navigate? Holy incel, okay. My girlfriend and I have been officially dating for less than a week, but we've been seeing each other for about 2 months. Things have been really good, and we've gone on nice dates. We're taking things slow physically, in parentheses, no sex yet. And we've just been getting to know each other. One thing I never really noticed until recently was how much makeup she wears. Or maybe she's just very good at applying it and I genuinely couldn't tell. Her makeup always looked really natural, so I never gave it much thought. If I really paid attention, I might have seen a little skin texture, but nothing that stood out. The other night we were at a party and both of us got tipsy. We ended up in a bedroom. The lights were off and we started making out pretty heavily. It was hot, sweaty, and her face was kind of smushed against my chest. I wasn't wearing a shirt. We eventually fell asleep like that. I woke up before she did, and that's when I noticed. Most of her makeup had rubbed off during the night, and I saw her bare skin for the first time. She had really inflamed red areas on her cheeks and chin and breakouts on her forehead. It looked painful, like cystic acne. It shocked me because she looked so different from what I was used to. Oh, brother. If I'm being brutally honest, it was one of those moments where part of me felt kind of deceived, which is harsh, I know. It was more shock than actual twinge of feeling turned off by how she looked. I mean, both of those things are fucked up, but it really did feel like I was seeing a completely different person. I started wondering if she thought I was too clueless to ever notice, or if she just hoped I wouldn't care. I think she probably hoped that you weren't a shallow little cucky boy. When she woke up, I think she realized what happened. She looked embarrassed and went straight to the bathroom and stayed there for a while. I told her it was okay, that she didn't have to hide, and that her skin didn't matter to me. I said what I thought was the decent thing to say. I mean, it's how it should be, but based off everything you just said prior, oh, brother. But now I'm questioning if I actually meant it deep down, because truthfully, I haven't been able to stop thinking about how different she looked. I haven't ghosted her or anything, but I've definitely been keeping busy. I don't know what to say to her. She's picked up on it and is clearly anxious over text, but I still don't know how to respond without either lying or hurting her feelings. The whole thing's made me wonder if I rushed into this too quickly. She wanted some commitment, and I liked her enough to do that. I liked her enough to do that. If somebody said that they became my girlfriend because they liked me enough to do that, I would be like, dog. Maybe I should have pushed back gently, and we should have spent more time dating, casually getting to know each other fully before getting official. I didn't expect to feel this way, but now that I do, I don't know what the right next step is. I know some people might read this and instantly call me shallow. Yeah, I wonder who did that. I think she probably hoped that you weren't a shallow little cucky boy. Sound effect? No. I've already run that accusation through my own head, but here's where I'm genuinely trying to understand the line. To me, there's a difference between someone wanting to look their best, to feel confident and put together, and someone consistently presenting a version of themselves that's so curated, it creates a false baseline of what they actually look like. That distinction matters. Recalling some memories, I can tell now that she wore a full face of makeup even for a casual coffee run. It really is just giving the vibe of some incel on Twitter talking about how every woman is fake who wears makeup. Like, it's just so brain dead. Like, hey man, you guys have been dating for a week and she was wearing makeup because that makes her feel more confident on dates? Like, did you just expect her to show up looking homeless? Bro, obviously, if she has a lot of acne, she's gonna feel a little insecure about that. And like, the hope is that she's not going on dates with an absolute piece of trash who has been slobbing on that Andrew Tate knob, bro, on some, oh, there's a difference between hiding the actual version of yourself. No, shut the fuck up. Oh my lord. I hope she sees this, man. This is just embarrassing for him, honestly. Like, what a fucking loser. If this is how you view women, you are genuinely a loser. I've dated someone with a skin issue before, but it didn't change how I was attracted to her. I fully understand that she doesn't owe me full vulnerability, especially not early on. But do I need to agree with the idea that her use of so much makeup was also about presenting a curated / false version of herself and not just wanting to look her best? What if her idea of makeup is really to change her whole face? I'm not claiming to be the victim here. That's literally what you've been saying in this entire fucking post, you moron. But I also can't say she's entirely without responsibility in all this. Then you're fucking stupid. God forbid she knows how to do makeup well enough to cover up her acne. Like, what do you want her to do? To just fucking like put no makeup on just the acne stuff so that your dumb ass can know that it's there? She knew her natural skin might significantly affect how I saw her, and yet she allowed me to think this. I mean, to be honest, she probably didn't. She probably was like, hey, covering this up makes me feel more confident, but surely I am going on a date with a guy who isn't a shallow piece of shit, who is expecting a 21-year-old woman to have absolutely no acne ever. She knew her natural skin might significantly affect how I saw her, and yet she allowed me to think this is what she looked like. I think that's that's on you. I think you're fucking dumb. I think you're just a stupid idiot man with the brain the size of a raisin. She allowed me to think that this is what she looked like, so I am also a little miffed with her. I don't know if I want to break up with her. She's a good person, but if I continue dating her, I'd want to force an honest conversation with her. God. Chat, the craziest part of this entire post is this guy is like a soft 4. Like, we know what this kind of guy looks like. He is not the prize catch. He is a mediocre man who demands perfection out of his partner when he literally looks like Jabba the Hutt. You know, like, hey, don't insult Jabba like that. You right, my bad. Asmongold? Yeah, bro, this is some shit Asmongold would type. Or people who watch Asmongold. God, that guy's such a fucking loser. Every time I see a clip of him, I'm like, bro, how the fuck are these people taking advice from a guy who's literally known for not showering? I don't know about y'all, but if someone was trying to give me advice and they haven't showered in a week, I'm telling them to go fuck themselves. I guess that's just the difference between me and Trump supporters. OP is one of those guys that falls for the no makeup videos. Bro, OP is the guy that falls for the AI Republican OnlyFans girls, you know? Have you guys seen that pandemic? We might have to watch a YouTube video about that. There are so many dudes out there just catfishing stupid Republican men, and it only works with Republican men. Like, there was literally an article of this guy coming out and being like, yeah, I'm one of the scammers, and I tried it on leftist people. It doesn't work because they know how to use their fucking brains. But that's why people like Asmongold can take advantage of these stupid idiots. Hot take, I don't think Asmongold actually believes anything that comes out of his mouth. I think he's found an audience that is looking for someone like him to say the absurdly stupid things that he's willing to say, and he makes a ridiculous amount of money from it. He has completely sold his soul, doesn't give a fuck, is just gonna pull that lever until it stops pissing out money for him, which is just as bad, if not worse, than if he actually believed in them, by the way. Dated a guy who watched Asmongold. I don't know who needs to hear this, but if you're dating someone who watches Asmongold, you need to get the fuck out of there, bro. That guy's a boner. Am I the a-hole for expecting my wife to trust me again after one bad decision? I've been with my wife for 7 years. 3 years ago, my mother-in-law called us crying, saying my father-in-law had a heart attack. We thought he was dying. My wife, who was 3 months pregnant at the time, immediately jumped on the first flight back home to Sweden. She didn't ask how I felt or if I was okay. She just broke down and said she had to go, packed a carry-on, and left. She didn't ask how I felt or if I was okay. Bro, why do you even fucking matter here? Like, yeah, I know your dad is dying, but like, what about me? While she was there, I asked her when she'd be back, and she said she didn't know because even though her dad was recovering, her mom needed help. At first, we texted all the time, but then she started ignoring my calls, saying she was too tired. I started feeling resentful. I admit I made a bad decision. I started chatting with my ex, ended up inviting her over, and we had a great night together. Okay, so your wife's dad is dying. You don't go with her to support her, and then you cheat on her with your ex. Damn, bro. Am I the devil coming out hot, bro? We are like 3 minutes into this read, and we already got to bring out the rusty scissors. Snip, snip, chop, chop. Castrate immediately. By morning, I regretted it and told her to leave. When my wife came back 4 months later, I came clean. She was shocked and gave me the cold shoulder for a week. I apologized, said it was a one-time mistake, and begged for forgiveness. She eventually said she'd give me one last chance. No, girl, leave his stupid ass, bro. She made me block my ex, which I already had, and set some pretty strict rules. No going out with friends she doesn't know. Stuff like that. I agreed. She gave birth and things have been... Oh my God, I fucking forgot she was pregnant. I fucking forgot she was pregnant. Oh, that's brutal. Oh my God, what the fuck? She gave birth and things have been okay since then. She eventually let me back in our bedroom. Now here's the problem. My buddy is getting married and all the groomsmen are planning a Vegas bachelor party. My wife has straight up forbidden me from going. She says she doesn't trust me and thinks I'll make another bad decision. I told her she forgave me, so she needs to trust me again, but she's refusing. What? Bro, telling somebody how to act when they forgive you is fucking insane levels of entitlement. Hey, you forgave me, therefore you gotta just go back to default mode. Even though I broke your trust to an insane degree, you gotta trust me, girl. Bro, that has to be like the holy trinity of cheating. Your wife is pregnant, her dad is dying, and it's with your ex. Like, bro, I don't know why this wife didn't just shoot the guy. Am I the a-hole / wrong for expecting my wife to trust me again, especially since I've been sticking to all of her conditions so far? Yeah, you're the fucking a-hole. And yeah, you're so wrong. Oh my God, this idiot posted an update too. If this update isn't my wife fucking left me, I'm miserable. I feel like that's the only way I can be happy with the ending of this. That is egregious, man. But what did we expect, chat? Like, we knew right off the rip this motherfucker was insanely selfish. Dad dying. She didn't ask me how I felt if I were okay. This is for sure a sociopath. Like, this dude in another lifetime is probably a serial killer. Holy shit. Yeah, definitely an Am I the Devil story. Bravo. Like, this is what I'm expecting when I see Am I the Devil. All right? This is why I get a little tired when we get a story about some guy being just mildly stupid. I'm like, bro, give me the juice. I come here for the evil of the evil, and holy fuck is this evil of the evil. Top comment on this is, I wish I could see the update. It keeps going back to the same post in the app, and if I open it in the browser, it says page not found. And then OP commented, mother-in-law overreacted. To be honest, father-in-law didn't die. He is fine now. Not exactly an emergency. Oh, that makes it fine. Wait, chat, just kidding. If your partner thinks their father's gonna die and then he doesn't die, that means you can cheat on her and everything is fine. Oh, also, let's not forget she's fucking pregnant. Evil motherfuckers, chat. Sorry, check the comments under the Am I the Devil post. Someone put the update in the comments. Really? Oh, my hero. Okay, shout out Strangled in the Moonlight. Did the digging that I didn't or couldn't do. Let's go. Here's the update post. Update link is broken. He deleted it. So I came here hoping for some unbiased advice, but it seems like everyone just loves to make me the bad guy over one mistake. Oh, brother. Here's the deal. Last night, I told my wife before bed that I'd tell my buddy I can't join the Vegas trip with the guys. I said I'd use work as an excuse, and she thanked me for it. Then I told her how I feel like I'm walking on eggshells around her, and it's frustrating complying with all of her rules only for her to still not trust me. Hey man, how frustrating do you think it is that you fucking cheated on her? I told her I feel rejected and unloved. I mean, the last time we were intimate was a year ago when she got pregnant. I know I messed up, but she was rejecting me long before that trip, and I felt alone and vulnerable. I made a bad decision, but I've been paying for it ever since. Okay, so if you feel alone and vulnerable in your marriage, you talk to your partner about it, and you work on it together to improve your marriage. You don't go sleep with your ex. This guy wants to be the victim so bad. Like, holy copium. She went quiet, then out of nowhere started giving... What? Hello? Then out of nowhere started giving me head. I was like, whoa, what's going on? But she just kept going. Honestly, it was the most unexpected and weirdest thing ever. But then she got up, spat in the sink, brushed her teeth, and came back to bed. I tried to kiss her and asked if I could return the favor, and she just said, no, I'm tired. Rolled over and started reading her book. Okay, interesting. And that's where we're at. Oral once in a blue moon, and I'm expected to shut up and follow her rules. Back to marriage jail, I guess. Bye. What did I just read? Here's the thing. You guys are calling this fake? That is so random to be fake. I almost wish we didn't have the update. I don't disagree. I don't know, man. I guess it's better off to hope that there's no way that this guy actually exists. There's no way that there's this unhealthy of a relationship going on where, like, this guy did his wife absolutely dirty and she's still staying with him and he doesn't realize that he fucked up. He was saying, oh, I made one bad mistake, like, I'm following all of her rules. Bro, you are in the doghouse forever. There's no, oh, when do you trust me? It's you never get trusted ever again. Which is why I arguably think if you are in a relationship where the person cheats on you, you should just cut your losses and leave, because you'll never be able to trust them ever again to the same extent that you did before. That's crazy, man. Honestly, y'all, at the end of the day, that poor fucking kid, this is their parents. Like, that has to be the most cut tension with a butter knife in the house at all times that kid has to grow up with. Am I the a-hole for making my daughter use dollar store shampoo and conditioner? My wife and I have 3 daughters. Oldest is 16, middle is 14, and youngest is 10. My entire family and my wife's family all has straight hair. My oldest and youngest also have straight hair. Then there's my middle with curly blonde hair and green eyes. The rest of the family has brown hair and brown eyes. I admittedly am not very close with her because I had doubts she was mine, and I had a hard time bonding with her due to that. It's one of those guys. It's one of those clowns. My middle daughter insists that she needs special shampoo and conditioner because of her curly hair. Yeah, no, that's just a straight up fact. She found some that wasn't too expensive, so I bought it for her her, but she goes through the conditioner like water. She came to me after a little over a month and said that she needed another bottle. I told her she doesn't and that her conditioner should last her at least another month. How would you fucking know? I'm sorry, bitch. I don't even have to ask if you have curly long hair with experience conditioning it, because clearly you don't, based off of the previous information about, I was worried about her not being my daughter. I have no idea how genetics work. I'm an insecure little bitch boy. I told her she doesn't and that her conditioner should last her at least another month, but probably longer. But she insists that you need to use a lot of conditioner for curly hair. Dude, even I know that. I don't have curly hair. I fucking know that shit. I bought her another bottle and told her to use less because she wasn't getting another one for at least 2 months. Are we so fucking for real, bro? Oh my God. She used it again in a month, so I bought her shampoo and conditioner from the dollar store. She had a meltdown about how this is going to ruin her hair and that she just got it into a place where she liked it and it was manageable. In parentheses, she blames us for her hair being uncontrollable for most of her life because we didn't learn how to take care of curly hair, even though it's not different than straight hair. It's so dumb. It's so stupid. Like, bro, it's different just in the fact that one is curly and one is straight. You can't put together that the way the hair needs to get taken care of is different because they're different kinds of hair. She even threatened to shave her head, which I know she won't do because she's obsessed with her hair. Now she's refusing to speak to me and she's being extremely disrespectful to me and my wife. My wife thinks we should give in, but I think she needs to learn her lesson. Am I the a-hole? Holy fuck, your wife even sounds awful. Like, how the fuck is your wife not being like, hey man, you're a dumbass. You're a fucking stupid idiot man. You need to shut the fuck up and go buy the conditioner. This is crazy to me because it's literally one Google search away. In the time that this man wrote this stupid Reddit post, he could have gone onto Google and searched difference between straight hair and curly hair. And he would have gotten articles on top of articles, even probably the AI overview. Like, this is such a widely known thing that even the fucking AI could probably get this right. Oh, I guess this was written 4 years ago, so ChatGPT and all that shit didn't ruin everything yet. But either way, like, he could have just done the research and been like, oh yeah, I'm fucking wrong. I don't know what fuck-ass man needs to hear this, but if your daughter has curly hair, get her the curly hair conditioner. And you're probably gonna have to buy that shit for her for life. Sorry, dude. If you didn't want that possibility, you should have not had kids. Maybe not for her entire life, but for the entire time that she lives here. Also, guys, look at Beans. He's doing that funny thing where he digs his face into the side of the bed. A silly, eepy boy. Wow. So silly, so eepy, so man. Oh, Jesus. Oh my God. Chat, lock in. Top comment. There's a weird update that I found from him on Arctic Shift. What is that? Am I clicking into something crazy right now? Oh? Okay, I think this is similar to Wayback Machine. I'm gonna save this and maybe learn how to use it so that potentially I could use this in the future. Crazy. Okay, let's read this, y'all. It's been almost 2 weeks since my post, so I felt that I should post an update. My middle daughter ran away a couple days after I posted my original post. We found out she had been planning this for months. My oldest daughter was in on it and helped her hide the fact that she's been working. Oh shit. My oldest daughter was in on it and helped her hide the fact that she's been working after school for months. She taught her how to hide her money and showed her what to put in her bag and where to hide it. Bro, that's crazy when your oldest daughter is the accomplice. Like, she probably hates you too. When they were leaving for school, my middle daughter had a new backpack. My wife asked about it and middle said that it was her friend's, but she didn't want it, so she gave it to her, which was completely plausible considering that friend gives her stuff all the time. A couple hours later, we got a call from the school saying that my middle daughter wasn't there. My wife came home, checked her room, and found a note on her dresser saying that she couldn't handle living with me anymore. Damn, name drop is crazy. My wife has a sister around 45 miles away, and our middle daughter showed up to her house after being missing for 3 days. She refused to go home and threatened to run away again if she tried to make her see us. At first, my wife told me to move out so our middle daughter could come home, but she quickly realized that she can't afford to live in our house on her income alone. Plus, our oldest and youngest deserve to have their parents together. Oh God, they're one of those. Yeah, honey, we gotta stay together just for the kids, even though we have shouting matches and one of our daughters helped the other daughter run away because I'm so terrible. We gotta stay together for the kids. Like, oh my God. So middle is gonna stay with her aunt until we figure out a plan that works for everyone. Fuck, bro. I hope that middle daughter's doing well. I also hope the other daughters are doing okay. Like, do you know how crazy it has to be for your oldest daughter to be like, I'm gonna help my sister run away from our dad? Like, chat, shit must be bad. For a 16-year-old, the oldest is 16, the middle is 14. For the oldest to identify that the situation that the middle is in is bad enough that she needs to run away at 14 and the oldest is 16 years old, OP must be a terrorist. Like, this guy must genuinely suck as a parent. Scary that people like this can reproduce. Castration immediately. Snip, snip, chop, chop. Ba-bam, 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 bam, bam, boop, bop, beep, bop, boom, bop, bam. Chop that shit off. I feel like there's more to his parenting he's not telling us. No, for real. I would venture to guess this guy's an absolute terrible parent. The worst of the worst couldn't be any more terrible. The mom doesn't sound great either, by the way, chat. Like, I feel like if there's anybody who's supposed to be like, hey, stupid idiot man, your daughter needs this, shut up and buy it, it's the mother. Like, I'm trying to remember if my dad's such a teddy bear. I love him. Growing up, if I would have been like, hey, I need this conditioner for my hair because XYZ, he would have been like, okay. Like, if any of my sisters had done that, he would just be like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, show me which one. Okay, cool, here you go. Yeah, she's not being a mama bear. Exactly, Resilient Sage, and that scares me. Also, y'all, I think it's kind of crazy that she had to hide the fact that she had a job. Like, that's crazy to me. That's some shit you do when you're in like fight or flight mode at home. That's crazy, bro. What if we just burned him at the stake? What if we chopped his balls off? Am I the a-hole for snapping at my half-sister when she called to say neither her nor my other sister will be attending my wedding after they both RSVP'd yes? I, female 23, have two half-sisters, Molly, female 29, and Mary, female 33, from my dad's previous marriage. I wasn't close to either of them growing up because they mainly stayed with their mom, and we just generally weren't close. In parentheses, we're all nice to one another, but it's not buddy-buddy. I got married a few weeks ago, and both Molly and Mary were invited. They both RSVP'd yes. Literally a couple days before the wedding, Mary calls and says neither her nor Molly will be attending. I'm shocked because obviously all the catering, everything's been put in, and now 4 people won't be attending. They each had a +1. Mary did sound apologetic, and she explained to me detailing a traumatic situation Molly's going through, and she will also not be attending and staying with Molly and their mom instead. I got upset and said that I understand, but if she can just attend for a little while to support me, she can leave early if she wishes. Mary kept saying it's not possible, so I snapped and said how neither of them care about my feelings and the effort put into this wedding, especially since Molly herself didn't bother giving me a call to let me know, and it's obvious that I was always the outsider sister and not a part of their group. I mean, if there's anyone to blame for that, it's probably your dad. I wasn't close to either of them growing up because they mainly stayed with their mom. That probably means that your dad was a pretty shit-ass dad who didn't make an effort to see his other kids. Mary said I was being selfish and hung up the phone. I did tell some relatives the situation / who knew about it and got mixed reactions for going off at Mary. So am I the a-hole for snapping because they didn't come to my wedding? Okay, so the caveat here for the YouTube video is that the title of this is the traumatic event is that the boyfriend died. So Molly's boyfriend died. And OP is so consumed by the fact that they're not going to her wedding. Like, hey man, I get it. Weddings are expensive and you're probably gonna eat some catering fees and whatever else not that you paid for the wedding. But also, her boyfriend just fucking died. I'm sorry, man. That takes precedence over your wedding any day of the week. And you're being the selfish one here. That's so crazy. I mean, I'm sure it came out in the comments somewhere, but she specifically made the effort to not include that because she knew it would make her look bad. That's insane. This is just me like reading in between the lines. The whole family sounds dysfunctional. Like, I'm sure what happened was the dad was really prevalent in OP's life, but not his older daughter's life. So there's probably some tension there where like they probably don't like her because they feel neglected by their dad. Like, that's what I was getting was implied there of the fact of like, I wasn't very close to them because they stayed with their mom. Yeah, that means your dad neglected them and he's a bad dad. Oh Lord. And you're probably the way that you are because you're like your dad. Oh Lord, 3 for 3 on some evil devils, man. God damn. Yeah, I mean, you guys are talking about it in chat, but like, it doesn't even seem like she's mad that her family can't be there. She's mad because she paid for stuff and now there's nobody to eat or enjoy the stuff that she paid for at the wedding, which is just not the priority. Like, I get it. I could maybe understand you being like on the side, like, damn, now I'm spending more for my wedding than I had to. But like, you were gonna spend it anyway. I think your bigger priority is, damn, my half-sister's boyfriend just died. How can I support her? Congratulations, you now have 4 plates of leftovers to enjoy later. Exactly, bro. You coming out on top. Chad, I'm not gonna lie. My friend Maggie catered McDonald's at the end of her wedding, and I thought that was so fucking genius. I was like, that's incredible. They got like a bajillion McChickens, a bajillion, what is like the dollar menu hamburger that they have? That one, like a bunch of 4-piece chicken nuggets, and they just like had them out on a table so you could take some home with you. It was fucking incredible. McDouble. Thank you. I wouldn't want to go to a wedding either if my partner died. No, for real. I feel like in the realm of things that are okay to skip a wedding for, it would be if your partner died. Am I the a-hole for not wanting my wife to spend a week at our cabin? My wife has been staying with her sister for the past 2 weeks. Her sister is a single mom to a 4-year-old with brain cancer. Oh no. My sister-in-law was feeling burnt out, so my wife decided to extend her trip indefinitely to help take care of her niece. This happened on Saturday. Her niece will be spending the next 2 weeks in the hospital. My wife is planning to stay in the hospital with her niece. Then she wants to take her to our cabin for a week so she can play in the snow, and she'll be spending Christmas with her sister and her dying niece. Where are you at, bro? She's a housewife, so it's not like she has a job to get back to, but I would like to see her at some point this month, and this house can't run the same without her. That's what you're concerned about? That is priority numero uno for you? Your wife's niece has brain cancer and could die, but God forbid your floors aren't swept. God forbid the kitchen isn't clean. Like, bro, some people's priorities are just so out of whack, it's insane. She just told me about this plan to take her niece to the cabin. I told her that I want her to come back sooner than later and that I don't want her to go to the cabin. She says I'm welcome to come with her, but she wants to spend this time with her niece. I told her she's going to come home within the next week or so, and she snapped that I'm not her boss and that she will be taking her niece to see snow. Then she will be spending Christmas with her. Now we're not speaking, so I wanted to know if I was the a-hole. That's wild, bro. Like, any normal person with any semblance of brain cells will get one paragraph into typing this and go, shit, man, she has brain cancer. Like, you know, like... Oh, I just genuinely think some people are stupid and born without empathy. Holy God. I can't believe some women want this dynamic. They want the dynamic where the husband just orders her around like she's a servant. I can't believe that, bro. Thank God my sisters are strong, independent women who are girl bosses doing their thing, because I would never want this life for them, bro. This sounds miserable. To be dating a man who thinks that he can order you to do something, that's fucking insane to me. I've never understood partners that don't have the same level of empathy for your family. Like, my dude, this isn't just your wife's niece. This is your niece. You should also care that your niece has brain cancer. I hope she never comes back. I hope this is a wake-up call for the wife and she's like, fuck this guy. Oh my God. Wait, chat, the top comment on this post, in the comments, OOP says they don't even have kids. So the house doesn't run without her 100% means I want her home to cook, clean, and be my bang maid. Bro, that's insane. Oh my God, that's so ridiculous, bro. Like, talk about a fucking useless piece of shit of a man. Your wife is gone for a month and you're in shambles because you can't clean your own house, dude. Thank God I'm not this useless. Just thank God. I don't know what happened, bro. Kathy did something right. I'm not this fucking useless. Listen, I might be stupid. I might be an idiot sometimes. I might be embarrassing, but I'm not that guy. You know what I'm saying? I can go to bed happy on that one. Hopefully more men become slowly but surely lonely because they have this mindset. I really do have a lot of faith and hope that there's enough social media nowadays where women, most women, the smart women, don't want to be treated like this. R/am I the a-hole relationships? Am I the a-hole for planning to confess my feelings to my married manager? I, 27 female, feel like I am losing my mind. My best friend just called me delusional and threatened to distance herself from me if I go through with this. So I need an outside perspective. Okay, we haven't actually read the story yet, but based on the title, W best friend. That is what you should do if your best friend calls you with some fuck shit like this. For my own personal sanity, all names have been changed. For the past year, I've worked closely with David, 38 male. He is an assistant manager at the retail pharmacy where I work as a pharmacy technician. He is married to Sarah and they have 2 toddlers. His locker is covered in drawings from his kids. He talks about his family constantly. On paper, he is the ultimate family man. But over the last 6 months, I feel like our relationship has changed. It started in November when my dog passed away. He noticed I was crying in the bathroom, went down the street and bought me a vanilla latte and a muffin. He sat with me for 10 minutes and just listened to me vent. No one else at work even noticed I was upset, but he did. I mean, girl, he walked in on you crying in the break room. Like, I hope he noticed. Since then, we've developed a routine. Whenever we pass each other by the stockroom, he gives me a specific warm smile. A few weeks ago during a hectic Monday rush, I made a joke to a difficult customer that fell flat, but I looked across the pharmacy counter and David was smiling and shaking his head. It felt like an inside joke just between us. Okay, so like normal interactions. Then there was the team dinner last month at a packed, deafening restaurant. Because it was crowded, David sat directly across from me. At one point, the room got incredibly loud. David leaned all the way across the table to hear what I was saying. While I was talking, he looked directly at my lips, smiled, and nodded along. A few of our other coworkers at the end of the table actually stopped talking and just stared at us because it looked so intense, or it looked insanely inappropriate. It felt like the rest of the room completely melted away. The biggest thing happened last Friday. We were staying late to finish checking in an inventory shipment. The store was closed. He walked over to check my progress, and as he leaned over my shoulder to look at the terminal, his sleeve brushed against my arm. He didn't pull away immediately. He stayed there for at least 3 seconds. Before he clocked out, he looked at me and said, "Don't stay too late, Shelby. We need you around here." Okay, what does that even mean? Don't stay too late, Shelby. We need you around here. As if staying too late would cause her to not come into her job? Here's the thing, chat. There could be a possibility that he does have feelings for her. I think we could be like, hey, you could confess your feelings and it could result in something. You'd still be a piece of shit. I don't know how you could talk about how he has pictures of drawings from his children, and yet you are not sure if ruining a marriage would make you the a-hole or not. I felt a physical spark. I am convinced that he is trapped in a passionless marriage, and his kindness is his subconscious way of crying out for a connection. He always remembers exactly how I take my coffee. Men don't pay that much attention to a woman unless they are deeply attracted to her. Okay, here's the thing, is I actually don't think that this line is necessarily wrong, you know? But like, he could just be an attentive friend. Like, I don't think this is a reason to think that he's in love with you. My plan is to ask him to grab drinks after our shift this Thursday and gently lay my cards on the table. I want to tell him that I know he feels the connection too, and that I'm willing to wait for him. Oh my. Yeah, chat, I don't know who needs to hear this, but if you are saying that to a married man, you're automatically the a-hole. Like, even if he has those feelings for her or not, you're still a dickhead. My best friend snapped at me saying, "Shelby, he is a nice guy. He brought you coffee once. You are being delusional and you're about to ruin your job based on a sleeve brushing against your arm." Oh my God, I didn't even think about that. That too could be a bad look. Isn't he also her superior? He is the assistant manager at the retail pharmacy where I work as a pharmacy technician. Okay, I think that means boss. I don't know, bro. Job titles confuse the fuck out of me sometimes. I can't even lie. Like, not only is it professionally wildly inappropriate, but it's just the shitty person thing to do. Am I misreading this, or am I the a-hole if I say how I feel? This is crazy because based off this line, the only way OP thinks they're the a-hole is if they're misreading this. Like, girl, whether you're misreading this or not, you're the a-hole for even contemplating fucking up this guy's marriage. For A, not great indicators that he's into you, but B, just at all. Like, if you're willing to ruin a married man's marriage, knowing nothing about the marriage, by the way, I think the only way we maybe would be on her side is if he was like in a toxic marriage where his wife beats him. But like, girl, you don't know shit for shit. His marriage looks hunky-dory, man. Oh my God, she replied to so many comments. We have to look. "Hi, friend. I didn't want to read all of your response, but I appreciate the thought you put into it. But I do, however, want to follow up for that update you so kindly requested. I plan to do nothing but find a new job." Oh my God, somebody on Reddit actually takes the advice of the fucking comments for once. Thank God. You know what? We can take some solace in that. Sorry, guys, I haven't read all of her comments out loud. I'll read this one. If you looked at my earlier responses, you'd know I've already addressed this question. I plan to swap jobs. I'm not obsessed, but I can agree my observations have been delved into much more than they should have been. I feel like none of her comments are like, I'm a bad person for even being willing to contemplate ruining this guy's marriage over 3 seconds of contact and a conversation in a loud restaurant. Oh, and a cup of coffee because he found me crying. Okay, wait, chat, actually, hot take. Ooh, this could be controversial. You know what? I don't even want to necessarily agree with this. I just want your guys' take. This is where my brain first went, but I'm willing to change my mind on this. Is it inappropriate for a married man to buy his woman coworker gifts when he finds her sad? Because I'm not gonna lie, you guys, I was thinking about it. Like, I'm putting myself in my own shoes. I think it could potentially be a little bit inappropriate. Literally, Addie said, "Fuck no." And then someone else said, "A little bit." Although a couple people are saying depends on the context. I mean, here's the thing, you guys, is like, you can be a shoulder to cry on without buying somebody something, you know? So Destiny said, "If my partner doesn't comfort someone who's sad, I'd be disappointed in him." You can comfort somebody without buying them something. I've absolutely done this, but only because it was well understood we were more like siblings. See, that's what I'm thinking about chicken sandwich. Like, I almost think based off what OP told us, they weren't close enough to like buy each other thing. In this situation, buying coffee one time when they're crying doesn't feel that inappropriate in my opinion. Okay, like I said, guys, at first I was pretty like, oh no, it's definitely, but now I'm kind of like, I thought coworkers brought coffee for each other all the time. You know what, Katana, that's a good point. If he bought her a necklace, then that would have been inappropriate. Okay, TM, you know what, you're cooking. I actually see that.